And tonight in the Big East Conference, it is a Big East Big 12 battle matchup. Providence Friars and the Brigham Young University Cougars. Hi again, everyone. I'm John Rooke, along with Joe Hassett, back home in the Amp. Good place to be after spending, a week in the tropics, but not a lot of success on the basketball floor.
No, I mean, you look at that first game, it was a game that was almost won by the Friars, a three-point shot at the end. I felt like the Friars had more capabilities in that second half to pull away in that game, but unfortunately they weren't able to win that ball game. And, the momentum just swung against them after that. And, it comes down to one shot at the end, and boom, all of a sudden you're just not feeling good about yourself. And, you go flat the next game. And then the last game the second game they played an 8:30 game like this time right here, and then you had to come back and play 11 o'clock in the morning, and they didn't have it out there in the Bahamas after that loss at Oklahoma. But that's all behind now. You got to work on and get the next game, and no easy task here. This is the toughest team the Friars have played at home for sure, and one of the better teams they're going to play all year in this BYU team. They got some players on this team. They got a possible NBA first-round pick. Some people are talking about in the lottery with him. So kid from Russia, Igor Denman, his name is. He's a solid player. He shoots the ball pretty well from outside. He shoots 44% from three, 56 from inside the arc. Struggles on the foul line, though, which is unusual for a European kid at 57%. But he's a guy that can do a lot of things on the floor, and that's somebody the Friars have to watch out for. But in this ball game here, I think the Friars, confidence-wise, they need to get after it and play together as a unit. I think they got down on themselves after they lost that first game and never really recovered after that.
And perhaps they can get together a little bit better tonight with the addition of Bryce Hopkins, who is going to be in the starting lineup.
Yeah, that makes up for a lot of ills. Bryce being back, I mean, I've been to practice a number of times and saw him in practice, and he was very good at practice. But it gives Kim English a lot of options now. When they struggle at the center position, and the center position has been unproductive all year, and it just hasn't been anything coming out of that center position. So you can start a big guy and then put Bryce is going to start, obviously, at the power forward, but you can go small. And Kim likes to go small. He went small last year and won a lot of ball games with a small unit. And now you put Bryce at the center position, and you can fast break, and you can run, you can speed up the pace, and play the kind of game that he likes to play, spread the floor, get to the basket, throw out for three. So I think the style will be much different now because you don't have to worry about big guys not producing.
So if Bryce is going to be out there, we're not sure what his minutes or what his limitations might be, but he is going to be out there. And so the Friars now have to sort of retool and learn how to play with him after going 8 games without him.
Yeah, I mean, in practice, he was with the first unit a number of times. So, Jaden Pierre's played with him enough. Corey Floyd is playing with him enough. So you have guys who've been out there with him. And Bryce can assimilate with anybody out there. I mean, he came in here from Kentucky and fit right in. So I think he's the guy that, makes everybody better. And from a confidence standpoint, John, it's so important. You have him out there, and when he's out there, he'll make everybody else better as a player. And he's a go-to guy. He's a guy where you need a hoop. When the Friars needed a hoop in some games, they didn't know who to go to. But when you need a hoop now, you can go to Bryce, and he's going to make something happen. He's either going to score himself, he's probably going to get double-teamed, and somebody's going to have to step up with a lot wide-open look, and I think that'll happen.
All right, and as far as the team is concerned, the best way that you can put behind you the 3 tough losses that you had is by winning the next one, of course. And that's an old adage, of course, that's well known in sports. You can't do anything about the last one. You only do something about the next one. But the Friars have a long way to go because they kind of buried themselves a little bit in terms of the net. The first one came out this week. The Ken Palm is low. Nothing like an opportunity presenting yourself. It's a quad 1 opportunity here on the home floor.
Yeah, I mean, these, a lot of Big East teams have struggled early on in the year. Villanova looked awful. They didn't look like they want to win a game. And, they're up 10 now on Cincinnati, who's ranked number 14th. So, and Villanova is about to win probably the 3rd of the last 4 games. They're playing better basketball. Butler's playing good basketball. They won their tournament. They struggled early on. Xavier got blown out by Michigan. Look at UConn. They finished 8th in an 8-team tournament out in Maui. So they struggled early on in the year. They'll get it back together again. So, like you just said, John, you can't do anything like that. Your last jump shot, you only can make your next one you take. And this team has to have that philosophy now. You come out, it's a long season. You haven't even gotten into conference play yet. Right. And it's not like it's only happened to the Friars. It's happened to a lot of teams this year in a lot of different conferences.
Friars will try to take that step. We'll talk about it coming up with Kim English, the head coach, in just a moment. From Learfield, this is Providence Friar basketball. Oh, is it? Wow.
Hey, Bob, how you doing, man? Good seeing you.
Yeah, his numbers are. Hey, Bob, how are you? Yeah, nice to see you, Coach. You bet. Hey, Joe, how are you? How old is he now, Joe?
Oh, he's got to be in his 80s.
Easily, right?
Yeah, he recruited me at Boston College, man. Good guy.
Yeah, I remember him. Sure.
Man, this is a monster game. We got
Yeah.
Rhode Island on Saturday. They're undefeated. I mean, the Wolves will be out pretty good if we don't get this one, man.
Look at that.
Goofy games.
We actually had color in our hair.
No, I had hair. You saw the one I pictured. I said Eric Reed. I mean,
that was a good one. That was a good.
I used to wear a suit coat and tie to every game because I would come from work, and I didn't realize Eric always had a suit coat and tie on. I told him, no, I wear a hoodie to games. He went bananas.
Wow. South Carolina pummeling them, huh? Wow.
How about Syracuse with 22-point underdog today to Tennessee? Now, the old Big East, what's the chances of that happening? I said that to Mike Tranghese this morning. We were talking, and he said they're getting up. He says he's glad they're getting what they deserve.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. UVM charging back.
How old is that kid from Russia? He's a freshman.
18.
18, huh? Wow.
I mean, look at his face. He's a baby.
How about that? He's from Moscow, man.
Right here.
Must be happy he's in the U.S.
Yep. All right, so we're only going to have about a minute and a half. What do you want to do for the matchup?
Well, we might as well put
Denman on Hopkins?
Yeah, that'd
Okay.
be a good matchup. Hopkins
Okay.
hasn't played. He's hoping to be an NBA draft pick, and Igor Denman will be an NBA draft pick.
Yep.
.8:30 game. Man, we were finishing games at 8:30.
I know, right?
At least we went on the road. Both teams has taken the same amount of three-point attempts, 233 each. No, man, 223 each. What's the chance of that
So
happening?
we've made they've made 79. We've made how many? 77.
Yeah, we played one more game.
So they're going to shoot the three a lot.
You the man.
Yep. John and Joe back inside the amp as we continue with the pregame. It's the Friars and the 6-1 BYU Cougars under head coach Kevin Young, who's in his first year as head coach after spending the last several years as an assistant and an associate head coach in the NBA, most recently with the Phoenix Suns. You heard Kim talk about how it's going to be an NBA-style team that you'll probably see out on the floor. But, Joe, as far as our Midland Roofing, protect this house matchup of the game, Yegor Denman is going to be a name you will probably hear a lot of for the next year.
Yeah, we was talking to you, John. He's 19 years old, out of Moscow, Russia, and he's talking about him being a first-round draft pick, maybe even a lottery pick, because a lot of his age and his size, and he's a solid player. He's going to be matched up against our guy,
Bryce Hopkins,
who
wants to be an NBA draft
who
pick.
wants to be an NBA draft pick, and hopefully he can come out here and shake off the rust early, because that should be a very good matchup.
You know, overall, do you have to just pin your ears back and go, or do you have to be conscious of the fact that you haven't played in 11 months?
Well, you haven't played a real game, but you've been playing, and, it's, we talk about game shape and regular play, but, play is play, and I think the game shape and the wind is different when you're playing with referees and the emotion of the game, but I think once you get into that first 3 or 4 minutes, John, and you settle in and all the adrenaline kicks in and you stop hyperventilating, then boom, you're into the game how you're supposed to play. I mean, I've been in situations like that. Sometimes you get too overhyped and, you can't do anything, and all of a sudden it just slows down for you, and then you're off to the races. I think that will happen with Bryce.
Friars and the Cougars for just the third time ever between the two schools. They open up the Big 12 Big East battle. We'll have the starting lineups and the tip-off next. From Learfield, this is Providence Friar basketball.
The monitor is in the house. What? So bad.
Tonight, a matchup of two of the best in their respective conferences. Both teams hope to be there as the best at the end of the year, and they get a chance to prove themselves in this early season matchup tonight. The Big 12 against the Big East. BYU visiting Providence. And hi again, everybody. I'm John Rooke, along with Joe Hassett. Friars just 5-3 overall in the season after having the tough trip to the Bahamas a week ago. BYU comes in 6-1. They split their two games playing in San Diego, which will be a tournament actually the Friars will be in next Thanksgiving. Coming off of a win over North Carolina State, Final Four participant of a year ago, 72-61 on Friday. Let's take a look at the starting lineup presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Rhode Island. First of all, for the Cougars of BYU, again at 6-1, Kevin Young, their first-year head coach after spending the last 4 years as associate head coach of the Phoenix Suns in the NBA. Yegor Demon, 6'9", freshman out of Moscow, Russia, leading them at 14.3 points, 6.3 assists, leading all freshmen in the country in assists. Richie Saunders, 6'5", junior from Riverton, Utah, 13.9 points, 4.5 rebounds per game, and a 40% three-point shooter. Cannon Catching, 6'9", freshman from Brownsburg, Indiana, played an overtime elite last year, 11.6 points per game, 33% shooter from three. Dallin Hall, a 6'4" junior from Plain City, Utah, 7 points and 4 assists. And Kiba Keita, 6'8" junior from Mali, a transfer from the University of Utah, 7 points and a team best 9.5 rebounds per game for the BYU Cougars. We mentioned this is the third meeting overall between Providence and Brigham Young. And the Cougars have won both of the previous two meetings. The last time these two teams played were way back in 1982 when BYU won it 66-52 in Provo, Utah. The only other meeting was in 1962 at the Palestra in Penn, an 81-78 win for the Cougars that day. So they go way back, just not often enough. This is game 6 for the Friars of the Big 12 Big East shootout, or battle as they call it. Providence has won 3 of the previous 5 times that they have played in this. And BYU, this is their first trip. So Hop is in the lineup.
That's a good thing. Friars need him. I mean, he's going to give them so much more versatility as a team with Hop in there. You know, he rebounds the ball. He plays good defense. He has a good feeling for the game, and he'll make everybody better because he'll draw double teams.
So Hopkins, Pierre, Isandiko, Cardette, and Floyd. Bringing Bensley Joseph, Rich Barron, Jabri Abdur-Rahim, probably, and Ryan Milo off of the bench. And Oswin Arunse also will see a lot of time in the middle against a very tall, very talented BYU team, Joe.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, they fundamentally sound. They don't turn the ball over much. You know, everybody on the team has single turnovers digits in their start. You know, in their stats. The guy has the most turnovers is Denham, the young freshman. He has 18 turnovers. Everybody else, the most anybody has is 9 or 8 turnovers. So they take good care of the ball. Friars in this ball game here, that's something they have to correct. We talked about that a lot down in the Bahamas. Those 3 games, the Friars had some turnover problems in that first game, and it's when they get the turnovers at key times where they had turnovers at midcourt and they end up in an easy layup. So the Friars have to take better care of the ball, get some good shots, and knock them down. I mean, you got to start knocking down some shots. We can't keep shooting in the 30s and win ball games.
BYU returning 2 starters and 8 lettermen from last year's team that went 23-11 and reached the first round of the NCAA tournament. In the Big 12 Conference, preseason pick for 9th out of 16-17 teams, so about halfway down the list. Heavy competition, of course, in the Big 12 this year.
Well, you look at Oklahoma was picked 15th out of 16 teams. How'd that work out?
What does that even mean, right, anymore? The officiating crew tonight, James Breeding, Randy McCall,
The monitor,
Tommy Johnson. Friars in the home whites, black lettering, black numerals, black trim. BYU in road, dark blue, navy blue uniforms with white and blue lettering, white and lighter blue trim on the dark blue uniforms.
Well, BYU had to come across the country, obviously. This is the longest trip to the Eastern time zone in quite a while.
And the opening tap goes into the backcourt. It is controlled by BYU. They go basket to our left on the radio. Here in half number 1, the Friars open up in a man-to-man defense. Off to the right wing of the ball is Saunders. Demon now has it. He's going to get Wesley Cardette in the first assignment. Down low, quick pass inside for Kiba Keita. Off the backboard, no good. He gets his own rebound, and the ball is ripped out of there by Floyd.
Troy Floyd always in the middle of the action on the rebounds.
Floyd has the ball on the right side. Basket to our right go the Friars. Works down the left side. Gives it out to Cardette, who enters the lane. Against Saunders, muscles his way up and in.
Good move by Cardette right there. That's what he's got to do. No more pump faking. Get to the basket and finish.
Friars get the first lead, and Demon has the ball in the backcourt, again guarded by Cardette as he gets screened away. He's going to drive down the right side, flip it out to Catchings. Deep 3 left of the key is good.
Shot by Catchings. What a pass by Denham. I mean, he was underneath the basket. He threw that out to the three-point line in traffic.
He leads all freshmen in the nation in assists at better than 6 per game. Hopkins gets his first touch. Cardette, now Pierre off the top of the key. They feed a Sandico in the paint, kicks it out for Cardette. Cardette cut off at left elbow. Top of the key for Priest. Underneath for Pierre. Rejected under the basket, and they're going to count goaltending against Catchings down low.
Good pass there by the big fella. Priest inside. A good movement without the ball by Pierre.
Well, the Friars grab the lead back at 4-3. And full court pressure now for the Friars, at least to guard the ball. Looking for a trap opportunity, and they've got Dellen Hall with the ball in the forecourt. Finds Demon on the right sideline. Uses the screen, cuts to the left, goes right to the hoop, lays it up high off the glass. Missed it. Ball goes right down to Keita. He missed that one. Loose on the floor, and it's out of bounds off of BYU on the baseline, and the Friars will get the ball.
Good challenge by Kreese on that one, going to the basket as he made Denham had to get the ball a little higher off the glass. That's why he missed the shot.
Well, the Friars will have it. BYU is going to put a couple of players in the backcourt for defensive pressure. Hopkins gets to the midcourt line. He drives to the top of the key, kicks the ball back out front now for Pierre. Pierre settles it down against BYU's zone defense. I'm just going to say
1-2-2.
That's what it looks like. Up at the top is Catchings. Pierre drives right by that, gets down low, double teamed on the post, and got it stolen by Keita. Keita now up the floor, finds Hall. Hall kicks it through left corner. Saunders for 3. Money.
Saunders can shoot it. I mean, he made the all-tournament team in that last tournament they just played in.
41% from 3 on the season, and it gives BYU the lead at 6-4. Pierre now has it up high for Hopkins. Goes left wing for Cardette. Comes off the screen. Dribble penetration. Splits 2 defenders. Loses the ball. Double team and throws it right to Saunders. Turnover is picked up by Saunders, and he gets it into the forecourt for Hall.
See, the Friars try to penetrate all the time. They get to the basket, and they look to throw it out. They got to stop finishing some layups in there. Take some shots for the 2.
Hall feeds the high post for Keita. Hands off for Saunders. Cuts to the right. Gets to the foul line. Throws up the runner. Off the iron. No good. Rebound tapped out right to Pierre. A 2-on-2 for the Friars. Pierre in the middle. Steps back. Doesn't take the shot. Looks over, finds Cardette at the top of the key. Swings it right to Sandico. Finds Bryce in front of the BYU bench. He's going to go up for 3. Off the front iron, no good. Long rebound, Pierre, but a foul is called on Sandico.
Bryce trying to get involved offensively. He's only had 1 touch so far, and he gets that one on the wing there. Goes for the 3-pointer.
First foul for either team in the ball game. And Bensley Joseph will be the first sub into the game for the Friars.
Checks in for Cardette.
Hall inbounds to Demon in the backcourt. Ball gets kicked off the foot of Joseph, and he goes out of bounds under the basket.
Friars in full court pressure. We haven't seen this year. He's going up with full court pressure, trying to deny the ball inbounds, and then trap the first pass.
At least not this early in a game, right? We saw that a little bit in the Bahamas, but it wasn't extended. Hall has it in the backcourt. Will work up against Hopkins into the forecourt on the right sideline. Has the dribble up front. Keita sets the screen, rolls to the left of that, kicks it back to Demon, gets off an open three, off the back iron, no good. Long rebound, long shot, long rebound for BYU. Now Demon has it in the center court circle against Joseph. Stops the dribble, loses the ball, picked up by Saunders, saved to the mid-floor line, back to Keita, off the top of the key to the left. Now Demon spins around Joseph, gets an open jumper, foul line, missed it. Rebound followed, no good by Catchings, and again to Keita, out to Saunders for a three. That's no good, and finally Asandiko clears the backboard.
Right, 3 opportunities right there. Friars have to get on the glass.
Here's Joseph into the forecourt on the right side, cuts over to the middle, top of the key, hesitates, drives the lane, finds Bryce in the corner, spins down in the low post, wants to go up with it, kicks the ball back out to Pierre. Now for Floyd, goes to the right side for Joseph. Joseph back to Asandiko, launches a three, banks it in!
Yeah, all right, he'll take that. I mean, he likes to take that outside shot. He hasn't hit many of them, but that one banks in. It still counts.
0 for 4 on the season from 3 before that made one, and he gives the Friars a 7-6 lead. Sometimes better to be lucky than good. Here's Hall driving right, throws it up, and a stuff for Keita.
Well, they're using that pick and roll pretty nicely. It seems a good passing team, and they all can score, Brigham Young. I mean, you can't slough off anybody.
Nope. Everybody is a threat up there. That's what makes this team dangerous. They've got an 8-7 lead, 15.5 to go in the first half. Sondiko out front, Pierre. Joseph between the circles, now comes to the right wing for Floyd. Floyd in front of the BYU bench, brings it back out to the center. Ball gets knocked into the backcourt by Saunders, who saves the ball to Hall. Now gives it back to Saunders in the left corner, and he stepped out of bounds? No, he did not. Still in play. Keita at the foul line, got away with a walk, but the Friars get the rebound, and then he gets knocked to the floor by BYU. Foul will be called on Richie Saunders, his first, team's first. And we got our first time out of the ballgame. 15:08 to play here in the opening half. Good start for both sides. BYU with an 8-7 lead from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball.
Now, please welcome back to the court your Providence College cheerleaders and team in the pep band.
Good. Villanova beats Cincy. Providence College basketball brought to you by Dave's Marketplace. We got our first fresh take of the game, Joe Hassett.
Well, Friars got to do a better job, John, of getting on the glass. That's for sure. They're not rebounding the basketball, and you can't give this Brigham Young team second and third shot opportunities. They shoot the ball too well. You give them an opportunity. They've had open looks, haven't been able to make them. BYU's just 3 for 13 so far, but they've had open looks on every single shot. They start knocking those down, all of a sudden it's a 20-point game.
They've outshot the Friars 13-4 here in the opening, not quite 5 minutes of the game.
You know, Friars have 5 rebounds in the game, 0 offensive rebounds. BYU has 6 total rebounds. 5 of those are offensive rebounds, so that's why they have those extra opportunities. Friars have 3 turnovers so far, 0 turnovers for BYU. Again, the turnover bug is killing the Friars. And what they're doing all year long, John, with the turnovers is they're coming down they penetrate through the defense, they beat their man, and they stop, and then look for a pass out to the wing. And the the place playing defense had taken away those shots. So if you get in the paint and you only have your man to beat, finish it off and make the twos. If you continue to do that, then maybe the defense has to change and start to help, and then you'll get the open looks from three. But you can't go in the middle there and stop and try pump faking. You got to move the ball or take the shot.
Jabri Abdur-Rahim checks in for the Friars. Trevin Nell, a 6'5" graduate student guard, checks in for BYU. Friars with the ball, looking to take the lead on this possession as Jaden Pierre has the ball to the right side. Hands off for Jabri. Up high now for Corey. Goes left for Bensley. Now
it's a zone, so you want to find
somebody in the middle. And the ball got kicked on the wing by Catchings, who's really long at 6'9". Freshman from Brownsburg, Indiana, who we mentioned in the open, played last year at Overtime Elite.
We want to find Raheem. He's the good shooter out there against the zone. I mean, he gets a spot-up shot. He's probably going to make it. He's open.
Pierre to the right side with the dribble. And throws it down for Isandiko in the post. Double team. Going to go cross court to Bensley. Won't get the shot off. Gets into the post. Banks it up and scores.
That's what you got to do. I mean, they're giving you that shot. Take it. You know, you don't have to take threes the whole game. Make twos.
Drove the baseline. Got the angle. Kissed it off the glass and in. Friars up 9-8. Demon works to the left side, goes all the way down low, throws it up at the basket, but a rebound jammed by Keita because Isandiko missed the block out.
Well, Keita has a fortune to go out there with Denham in the game because everybody worries about Denham, and he'll pass the ball to Keita. Keita's the perfect guy to have in the middle.
10-9 BYU. Isandiko hands off for Pierre, top of the key, three-pointer up, off the back iron, no good. Keita with the rebound, and then he got run into by Jabri on the rebound.
Well, that's a good look by Pierre. He's made that shot a lot this year. That one there was just off the glass a little bit.
Fousseni Traore will check in the middle, replacing Kiba Keita. Traore, a 6'6" senior from Mali. One of their two returning starters on this team, a Big 12 all-honorable mention a year ago. And Mihaila Boskovic, a 6'10" junior from Serbia, who's also well thought of from the European ranks, checks in for BYU.
See, all Olympic team over here. Denham is a good player, though. He just has that it about him.
Demon lobs it to the left wing. He finds Saunders. Hands off for Nell. Now Demon drives to the right on Joseph at the elbow. Kicks the ball left. Nell is there to save it on the high post for Traore. Now back to Demon. Drives to the left with 10 to shoot. Goes it back into the backcourt. Saunders saves it. We're going across the mid-floor line. Fires it to the right side for Demon with 3, with 2, with 1. Traore at the buzzer. Won't get it. Isandiko rebounds.
Good defense by the Friars right there. Rush BYU into a tough shot.
Now Benjamin will try to slow it down a bit. Gets into the forecourt, top of the key. Going to fire a 3 and hit.
Good job by Bensley Joseph. He gets one off the glass early in the paint. Then that one there, nice wide open from 3. Knocks it down.
Benz was just 1 for 8 from the floor in the loss to Indiana this last week. Saunders a deep 3. Well off the mark. Isandiko with the rebound. Bensley Joseph on the run, 1-on-3, gets into the lane, bounces out left. Jabri fakes the 3, drives in the lane, goes up with a short jumper and scores.
Jabri can score. If he's open, he's going to make that shot. Good pump fake there. Nice job to get to the paint.
First basket for Abdur-Rahim. Flyers lead 14-10. And did James Breeding blow his whistle?
Yeah, he called a foul on Pierre, and he's going to go look at it now. Here he goes. The monitor's going to the monitor.
Well, considering the monitor is right next to us, are you going to have to watch what
No,
you
I'm
say
not going to
tonight?
say anything. I mean, you know how bad he is. I don't have to explain it.
So he just told the crowd the previous play is now under review, but I was looking down the floor.
We were looking where the ball was. That's what you normally do, right?
Yes.
You follow the ball. That's what we
follow the ball, right. So this happened away from the ball.
It happened in front of the Friar bench, and Pierre was talking to the monitor, and he's telling me, he's explaining what was going on. And
so what was the call?
Well, Pierre was complaining that guy hit him first.
So no foul?
And Breeding's talking to Pierre now. He says, I got no problem. Now he's telling me, and he's yelling at him.
He's yelling at Jaden to tell him to stop talking.
Yeah.
This guy is absolutely...
He's out of his mind. I don't know why he does games. I mean, he's always in a controversy, this guy. James the Monitor Breeding. He's always in a controversy. He loves to go to the monitor, and he's always got to He's got an axe to
We're going
grind
to
with everybody.
have a really hard time getting through this.
I mean, even when he doesn't do Friday games,
So
I watch him on TV.
the end
He does
result
the same
here
thing.
is it's still BYU's ball. Shot clock is at 23.
Yeah,
So they're going to call a common foul on Pierre.
on
So they
Pierre.
are going to give him a foul. His first, team's third.
Now, Jaden doesn't say much out there, so
Right side with the ball. On the right sideline with it is Hall. Jaden knocked it out of bounds. And BYU will keep it with 19 to shoot, 12:43 to play here in the half. A 14-10 Friar lead. Inbounds, Dawson Baker, 6'4" redshirt junior from California in the game. Transfer from Cal Irvine. Hall drives, gives it to Traore, back to Hall. Hall circles to the foul line, throws it underneath on the baseline. Traore catches it against Arunse, who's checked in. He wants to go up and under on Oswin and puts it up and scores.
Oswin's got to do a better job of being a shot blocker. I mean, he's 7 feet and he plays like he's 6'6". I mean, he's got to get those hands up and be a bigger presence in there.
Traore is 6'6", and he just took it over Oswin. Bensley left open off of a screen for three. Left of the key. He's nailed 2 in a row.
Bensley likes coming off that bench. He went 1 for 8. You mentioned our last game. He's making up for that time.
Here's Hall weaving around defenders, gets down into the post, bounces for Traore on the left side, and a foul is called on Arunse. What was that call? He reached in? Did you see a reach?
No.
Timeout on the floor. 12 minutes to play in the first half. Good start for the Friars. 17-12 over Brigham Young from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball. Man. Wow. Coming in shooting 49%.
I think they're overpassing. That's what I do.
They're overpassing.
And they're only up
Holy
5.
crap. Reverse whammy.
And they're only up 5.
I know, right? That's scary.
They've taken twice as many shots as we have.
Yep. Providence College basketball brought to you part by Finetco, a family of lumberyards. Joe, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention a very important member of the BYU coaching staff in former Friar John Linehan, who joined the coaching staff this year under first-year head coach Kevin Young. And, of course, all Linehan is a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in the Big East when he was at Providence.
Yeah, I was talking with him before the game. He's a great kid, and he still looks like he can play. He's in great shape. He says he loves Utah. He says he's an outdoors guy, and he's always out. He rides his bike to practice, and he's loving it out there. Good for him, because good things need to happen to good people. He's a really good kid. He's actually got a son right now, John, who's 16 years old.
That's crazy.
He said he just got his license out in Utah.
Oh, my Lord.
I said, well, now the fun begins, John.
Ryan Mila checks in for the Friars for the first time. Wesley Cardette also back into the game. And so it will be Brigham Young to inbound the basketball when we come back to play with 20 to shoot. Dawson Baker in for Brigham Young. Did they make any other subs? Trevin Nell still in there. Okay, we're all set. Oh, and Mihailo Boscovich, he's still in there. All right, so it will be Hall to inbound from the baseline left of the basket. On the left side for Traore in front of the Providence bench. Hands off to Nell. Nell comes back to the left wing for Hall. Feeds Traore in the post. on Oswin, backs his way down, goes up with a jump hook, scores.
Oswin's got to do
Too
a better
easy.
job on the post, man. Lets him get where he wants, and then he doesn't put his hands up.
Too easy. That's why Chris DeSantico is getting ready to come back into the game.
You see, the coach knows that, and he goes right at Oswin.
Oswin has the ball top of the key. The Jabri drives Cardette down the right side of the lane, backs his way in, goes up. He got fouled on the play by Dallin Hall.
See, that's a good matchup for the Friars. Cardette sees that. He's got a size advantage and a strength advantage. They come off the screen, go to the basket. Cardette's game, after what we've seen him now, this is the 9th game we've seen him. He's more of a slosh it to the basket in the paint type of player. He'll occasionally hit a three, but he wants to get to the basket. So get to the basket and finish.
First free throw by Wesley is good. He's 57% from the line on the season as Bryce Hopkins checks in and replaces Jabri Abdur-Rahim. So Hopkins back in, of course, getting his first action since that fateful night last January when he tore his left ACL against Seton Hall here on the AMP floor. Second shot for Cardette. 2 dribbles at the line, lets it fly, and hits 2.
See, if he can make free throws, he can go to the basket all he wants. He can make three-pointers the old-fashioned way.
Friars back up by 5. Ball gets tipped out of bounds by Joseph on the inbounds pass. So there's pressure in the backcourt again for Providence as Dawson Baker tries to inbound it deep from the right baseline toward his bench.
The guy, Nell, that's the guy who got an altercation with Pierre. Pierre picked up the foul. Now he's pushing off on Mila.
Looking, Dawson inbounds, finds Nell in the backcourt against Joseph. Friars double him underneath, almost walked. The official doesn't see it that way. They bring it across the midcourt line to Boscovich.
I like this press. But, they took almost 10 seconds off the shot clock there.
Hall bounces left for Baker. High post for Traore. Now for Baker again. Spin to the foul line. Fadeaway jumper is up. No good. Rebound underneath by BYU. Foul on the floor called on Cardette.
Cardette's got to box out. Shot goes up. There's no way he should get beat to the basket on that.
First on Cardette. That's 5 on the Friars to just 2 for the Cougars here in the first 9 minutes of the ball game.
That's the 7th offensive rebound out of 9 total rebounds. I mean, if Friars could get on the offensive glass, they could extend this lead.
Looking for the inbounds pass is Hall. Dallin Hall, right side, catch and shoot 3, got it. And that is Trevin Nell with the 3-pointer.
Good execution right there. That guy's cutting to the basket, and Nell just freed up from 3 and knocks it down.
You got to know these guys are capable of that coming off of an inbounds pass. He shoots 38%. Double team. Ball has it to Santico. Hands off for Cardette. Slices down the lane. Left corner. Quick pass back out front now for Joseph. Joseph shakes, finds Mila. Right corner. Cardette gets off the 3. Bounces and stays.
He got a shooter's roll right there, Cardette. Hit that back rim and went straight up in the air, almost over the backboard, and comes in.
7 for Cardette. Ball bobbled in front of the Friar bench. Hall out front to Traore on the high post. Now Hall penetrates down the right side, leans in, lobs it back out front. Boscovich gets off a deep 3. It's short. Long rebound, chased down by Hopkins. Friars on the break. Hopkins dumps it off to Joseph on the right baseline. Joseph crosses over, drives the baseline, gets caught, reverses, scores!
That's the way to finish at the rim. It's not a bad thing to get 2-point shots. Friars rely on that 3 all the time. They're going to give you shots in the paint. Take them.
Scoring at the rim like they couldn't do last week at the Bahamas. That's 10 for Joseph here in the half. And there's a foul again called on Cardette on the floor as Dawson Baker drove by him out on the perimeter.
That's what you want to be. Be aggressive. That's only the 3rd team foul. No, that's a 6-team foul on the Friars.
Second on Cardette. He's going to come out of the game. Jaden Pierre is going to come back in, and Rich Barron will also check in for the first time. Kenan Catchings at 6'9", freshman guard, is out there for Brigham Young. BYU will inbound. Friars have their largest lead at 7 here at 24-17 as we dipped under 10 minutes to play in the half. Nell will inbound the ball, and he finds Hall. Hall will drive on Pierre, goes right off of his screen, stops, and kicks the ball on the high post to Traore. Traore, 1 dribble, turns, looks, hands off, spinning is Hall, goes to the right side, down to the baseline, flips it out underneath for Traore, throws it up, another hook shot, good.
Traore's having a good ball game in that post.
He's got 6, all of them on short hooks within 6 feet. And it's 24-19. Out front with it, Joseph, top of the key, works right off the screen, back left for Pierre. Pierre feeds the post to Santico, going to try to back his way in, he throws it out, kicks the ball right for Barron. Barron gets a drive, top of the key for Joseph, penetrates, loses the dribble. Foul is called on the floor on Trevin Nell.
I think Joseph got away with one right there. He had
did.
the off arm and just blew him out trying to get to the middle.
First foul on Nell. That's 3 now on BYU. Abdur Rahim will check in for the Friars.
Raheem, you got to go and tell the person who you're going in for. He comes in, he points, and I mean, you get 6 men on the floor.
He's coming in for Joseph.
Almost cost Oklahoma the game against Providence.
Almost did, didn't it? Looking for the inbounds from the baseline. Pierre to Jabri for 3. Got it from the left corner.
How about that substitution right there? Nice little out of bounds play. Jabri gets open. I mean, if he's got his open shot and his shoulders are square, he knocks it down.
Friars have made 6 shots in a row from the floor, Joe, and have an 8-point lead. Hall driving right on Pierre, scoops it underneath. Blocked from behind by Jabri. Up the floor for Barron. Barron penetrates down the left side of the lane, stops, kicks it back out for Pierre, finds Jabri, fakes the 3, penetrates, goes to the rim, lays it up, won't go in, but draws the foul.
Good move by Jabri. This is the most aggressive I've seen him in the Friar uniform so far, and he's going to go to the foul line right here, shooting 85%.
And Richie Saunders, who had just come back into the game, no, he wasn't in the game. It wasn't 15.
Richie Saunders is coming in now.
It was 6. That's who it was. So it was catching.
They had
called with a foul.
They had Denham on the bench for a long time here where the Friars are making this run.
So Catchings picks up his fourth on the Cougars. And Jabri will go to the line to shoot 2. 79% on the season. And he hits the first one.
Well, he's 85%, you said, John, in his career. Down at Georgia and all the other places he's been. You never know how many teams these guys have been playing for, but that's pretty good. When you're in the 80s as a foul shooter in college basketball today, it's a nice weapon to have.
Demon and Saunders back into the game as Jabri hits 2 free throws. And the Friars have a 10-point lead over Brigham Young, 29-19, with 8:40 to go in the first half. We see some offense at the amp. Hall has it on the right side against Barron. Pulls it out. Cada back in the game, sets the screen. Hall rolls to the left, throws it up under his hand. Blocked by Creased. Ball goes up, no good, and the rebound finally taken by Jabri.
Good job by Creased coming over and being a presence there and block that shot.
And Jabri hands off to Pierre. He works to the left sideline. DeSantico sets the screen. He finds Jabri, fakes right, goes left, stops at the foul line, looks at the basket, turns around, hands off for Bryce, slides down the lane, leans up, puts it up, scores.
Sweet move by Bryce right there. Goes up with the right hand and finishes with the left.
Welcome back, Bryce.
Well, the whole fans are standing up in here. It's so nice to see that. Bryce Hopkins gets that good move there. It's in the flow.
31-19 the score. Demon between the circles. Gets past Pierre. Drives to the right. Goes to the rim. Banks it up. Won't get it and gets fouled. Whoever's getting screened off of Demon's drive is getting clobbered out on the post. The foul is called on Sandico. That's his second foul. And that's the 7th on the team with 7:48 to go. So the physical BYU centers are starting to get the Friars in a little bit of foul concern here as we have a timeout on the floor and a 31-19 Providence lead. From Learfield, this is Providence Friar basketball. When Cada comes out to set that screen, it's like a brick wall.
I know. They try to fight over the top. And the Friars try to fight over the top of all of those. That's tough to do.
Kim's going to get his own guys killed if they don't do something else on that. I don't know. No, I know. You might have to.
Now let's bring the members of the team that competed in this team. Emily Roche and the governor, Karen Liberty, Neva Mooney, Laura Mooney, All-American Shannon Blackart, All-American Alex Millar, All-American Kimberly May, and the coaches, Sinead Evans, Katerina Rocha, Tim Brock, and in his 40th season, head coach, Ray Tracy. Let's have a big round of applause for women's cross-country team.
Yeah, I had that as a number here. I'll use that here. The Hot Potato Food Truck, a proud partner of PC Athletics. For your next event, call the Hot Potato Food Truck at 401-919-3009. Joe, this BYU team came in 5th in the country in shooting two-point shots at better than 60% from the floor. Right now, Brigham Young from 2 is 5 for 19.
Sounds like the Friars in the Bahamas. Friars couldn't make anything from two-point range, but, this Brigham Young team, they shoot 35% from 3, but, you make them take tough twos, and the Friars been able to challenge some shots. And Creason Sangako, who's had a tough start to his season here at Providence, has been a factor in this ball game on the defensive end. I mean, he's blocked a couple of shots. He's got credit for one, but he's in a situation where he's changed a lot of shots going to the basket, and he's been a physical presence out there. So it's made it difficult for Brigham Young to finish shots in the paint. Probably won't continue long, but the Friars are shooting 11 for 13 from the floor. I'm looking at the rebounding stats. I said, man, the Friars don't have any offensive rebounds in the game. Well, you don't need any when you make 11 out of your 13 shots. Friars have 10 rebounds. BYU has 10 rebounds, but 8 of those 10 rebounds for BYU are offensive rebounds. So they're getting second shot opportunities. They've taken 26 shots in the ball game to just 13 for the Friars. They've taken twice as many shots, and they're still down 31-19. So the Friars have been efficient on the offense and making threes at a 5 for 7 clip.
The Friars are also 6 for 6 from 2.
Which, we were down in the Bahamas, John, for 3 games. The Friars, they couldn't put anything in the paint.
Yegor Demon goes to the free throw line after the foul was called on Sandiko, and he hits the first free throw. That's his first point of the night, leading the Cougars in scoring at 14.3 points per game. 5 rebounds, better than 6 assists, shooting 44% from 3 on the season. And he nails 2 free throws. Makes it 31-21 with 7:45 to go in the first half. Jaden Pierre will walk it into the forecourt to the right side against Jabri.
1-2-2 zone.
Corey Floyd is checked back into the game. Jabri has it top of the key, rolls right off of the screen, stops, looks to the post, back out front against that zone. Floyd, left side for Pierre, 10 to shoot. Now for Floyd. Floyd to the right of the key, gets dribble penetration. He's cut off there by Catchings. Kicks the ball back out to Jaden, who gets off a deep 3, off the mark. Long rebound, chased down on the floor, and a push called on Floyd. Going to put BYU right back at the foul line.
Well, the Friars just took too long to get into it. They're coming out with a zone. You can't stand around the perimeter and play catch. You got to get right into it right away because, you start to rush your shot. Now, they get the ball to Corey Floyd with 7 seconds on the shot clock. That's the guy you don't want to have the ball in his hands at that situation against a zone because he's not a really good shooter from the outside. So you got to run some plays to get the ball to Jabri. Jabri hasn't missed a shot in this ball game. Against the zone, that's the weapon you want to have. So you got to find a shot for him early in the shot clock. Don't wait too late.
Dawson Baker, 1-1 of the line for BYU, missed the shot. Ball was popped out on the offensive glass, and again, Catchings retrieves it for BYU. Again, another offensive rebound for the Cougars.
They got 9 offensive rebounds.
Bounce pass left, driving is Baker, gets to the left elbow, gets into the lane, goes across the lane to the right side, lobs it back out front for Demon. Demon, guarded by Floyd, drives to the left, steps back, won't get the 3 off, shares it with Kada, and the ball violation against BYU. Shot clock goes off.
Great defense by Corey Floyd right there on down. He wanted to get that shot off. He couldn't get an open look. Now, again, if Brigham Young, John, wants to play this zone, you got to find Raheem. I want to run a play for him. I got to get him the ball somewhere, somehow. He has to look at the basket.
That was the first turnover of the game for BYU. Here's Joseph, right side for Jabri. Stops, bounces out front for Bryce. Hopkins now goes left. Dribbling to the right is Bensley Joseph. Joseph looks at that zone, crosses over, looks for penetration, goes left off the screen, goes down the left side of the lane, kicks it through to Jabri, doesn't have an open look. So you're going to go right to the rim, lays it up, missed the shot, went up for the dunk and got fouled from behind.
Good play by Jabri. Jabri's 6'8". I mean, you can get to that basket. They finally got him the ball in the corner in front of the BYU bench, and they ran at him, and he took the ball to the basket, went up strong. That's what you do. You don't go up there with a soft layup. If you have his size, you go up there and try to dunk it, put the onus on the official to call a foul if it looks like one.
Foul is on Kibakeda. His first, 5th on the Cougars. And Jabri, who has 7 points here in the half, averaging 6.5 per game in the first 8 games this year, as a Friar, has a chance to tack on 2 more. First shot by Jabri is good.
Yeah, he's almost automatic from the foul line. You want him on that line.
Sondiko comes out. Big O comes back in to replace him. And Jabri will get the ball for one more try here. 6:25 to go in the half. 32-21 Friars. And the shot is in and out. No good. Rebound is taken by Saunders.
Just put the jinx on him.
11-point Providence lead. Denman moves to his left. Fires a three. Short. Rebound in the paint. Ripping it away was Cada and Hopkins. And a held ball. Arrow goes to the Friars.
I'll tell you what, Brigham Young wasn't getting on the glass. They'd be down 20 in this game.
Yeah.
Friars got to box out.
I have to send everybody to the glass here. So the Friars will bring the ball up. 1-2-2 pressure. Broken by Hopkins to the foul line. Goes down the lane. Scoops it up from the left side and scores.
Another good left-handed move by Hopkins. He takes it up with the right and then just rolls off the body there and lays it up left-handed.
That's 4 for Hopkins here in the first half. 34-21. Under 6 to play. In the backcourt is Dawson Baker. He's off the screen to the left side. Rolls to the foul line. Throws up the runner. Off the rim. It will go in. Dawson Baker gets his first basket. Averaging 7.5 points per game. Transfer again from Cal Irvine. Makes it 34-23.
There's a nice screen there by Cater. Use that screen nicely. Get around the corner.
Hopkins up high. Comes to the right side for Jabri. Jabri centers again for Joseph. Joseph dribble penetration. Tries to dump it off. It gets tipped out of bounds by Brigham Young. That was the first field goal in 3.5 minutes for Brigham Young.
I mean, they're getting to the line, but the Friars playing good defense. That's for sure. Joseph tried to throw the alley-oop to Oswin right there, but the ball was deflected away.
The Friars will have it on the baseline, left of the basket, 11 on the shot clock. Looking for the inbounds is Bensley. He's going to lob it to Oswin at the left elbow. Oswin turns, looks, 8 to shoot, hands off to Jabri. He's going to fire the three, and it's off the rim. It won't stay. And the rebound for Saunders.
He had to shoot that one. There's only 6 on the shot clock there.
Now Denman gets a high screen again, rolls left, kicks the ball cross court. Catching will penetrate on Jabri. Down in the post, throws it up wildly, goes out of bounds. I thought the Friars got a piece of it, but they're going to say it's Providence ball.
Good job by Raheem. I mean, he's been struggling on the defensive end, but that time there was good defense.
Corey Floyd will check in. Hopkins, whose time will certainly be measured out on the floor tonight, goes out. And the Friars will get it. We dip under 5 to play in the half, and a 34-23 advantage for Providence. Handoff for Floyd on the left sideline. Now out between the circles for Irunse. Finds Joseph. Hands off to Pierre in front of the BYU bench. Keeps his dribble low. Now moves back to the center. Pushes for Floyd out on the perimeter against the zone. He gets dribble penetration down into the post. Tries to go up and under on Denman. Puts it up short. And Denman gets the rebound. Denman leads the break up the floor. Freshman from Moscow, Russia. Hands off for Saunders. Goes behind his back. Drives the lane.
Nice.
Backs it up. Scores.
Good move there by Saunders.
Saunders has 5, and it's a 9-point game. Saunders, a junior from Riverton, Utah. Into the forecourt is Joseph. High screen. Arunze sets it. Cuts to the right. Denman is there. Back left for Jabri. Now Jabri looks to the middle. Keeps the dribble low. Passes off the wing for Jaden. Left corner for Corey. Fakes the three. Penetrates. Gets into the lane. Out to Jabri. Fakes the three. Goes down the lane. Throws up the runner. Off the rim. No good. Saunders with a rebound. Saunders now drives up the floor. He finds Baker on the left wing. He centers. He penetrates. Goes inside on Oswin. Kicks it off of the corner. Out to Denman, who fakes the three. Now hits from the top of the key short. And the ball is chased down. Catching's headed out of bounds. And it's going to be off of Pierre. And again, BYU
Offensive
ball
rebound.
off of the shot. Friars just can't grab a defensive rebound right now. Timeout with 3:43 to go in the half. 34-25 is the Friar lead. From Learfield, this is Providence Friar basketball.
You know, BYU is not going to continue to shoot at this lousy clip. And we're not taking advantage of it, man.
It's time for Hats Off to Heroes presented by Learfield. Please tune your
Janney
attention
Montgomery
to-
Scott helps clients connect their life and their finances. Janney Montgomery Scott, LLC. Member, NYSE, FINRA, and SIPC. Joe, BYU came into this game third in the nation in rebound margin, out-rebounding their opponents by better than 13 rebounds per game. They're getting it all done right now on the offensive glass.
No question. The Friars have a total of 12 rebounds. BYU has 10 offensive rebounds and 17 all told. But good thing with the Friars, though, John, they turned the ball over 3 times in their first 5 or 6 possessions. They still have only 3 turnovers there in the first half. BYU hanging in there with just 1 turnover, and they're hitting the glass, but they're shooting the ball awful, BYU. They're just 10 for 31 from the floor and 3 for 9 from three-point range. Friars, on the other hand, shooting the lights out, really. 12 for 18 at 67% and 5 for 9 from three-point range at 55%. And the Friars are 5 for 6 from the foul line. So those are the best stats the Friars have had all year so far in any half with 3:43 to go. They're up by 9.
But they only have 1 field goal in the last 4:23.
Yeah, that zone, it's like a matchup zone, and the Friars haven't figured out how to attack it. And I always tell you, John, all the years we've been sitting here, the way you attack a zone is you have to get the ball into the middle. If somebody flashes into the middle, pass the ball into the middle. They might have somebody side front them, but put the ball in the middle, and the defense has to react then. Once the defense reacts, the guy who gets the ball in the middle would know which way to go, either the left wing or the right wing, because somebody's going to be open. When the ball goes to the middle, you're taught as a player, you got to get into collapse on the middle to take away the outside shot.
How many years have we been sitting here?
A long time.
Inbounds will come from the far sideline and Hall. Hall, basket to our left, far sideline, throws the ball inbounds, almost lobs it over the head of Demon down on the post. Gets it to the left corner. Nell gets off a 3 and hits it.
Boy, Friars just got a lax right there, and they got late there on Nell. They almost had a turnover, and they give up a three-pointer.
Fourth three-pointer of the game for BYU.
There's that zone now. I mean, this zone here, you got to get to the middle.
They slice the lead down to 6. Joseph has it right, penetrates right, gets into the lane. Inside the foul line, he got away with a walk. Pierre for 3, though. Nope. They're going to call the walk.
He traveled right away. You see, if you're the Friar players now, you can get to the middle dribbling the ball. Every team in college basketball now plays the same way. They let you get to the 2-point area and take away the 3. Well, if they're going to give you the 2-point, do it. I would, when Hopkins is in the game, he's in there now. Let him get the ball in the middle and let him operate. 2 times he's had the ball, he's had layups against that zone.
It's a 7-0 BYU run. They pulled back within 6. We're coming up on 3 minutes to play in the half. Denman has it in the backcourt, and Wesley Cardette back into the game to guard him. Comes to the left side for Nell. Nell against Rich Barron. Looks to the post, finds Denman. Denman outside the post, actually, about 15 feet away. Front of the Friar bench now, works his way into the lane. Circles around to the right side, stops. Cardette knocks the ball away. Denman goes up with the left hand, and they're going to bail him out with a foul.
Well, you got to stay on your feet.
And that's 3 fouls on Wes Cardette here in the first half. He's got to come right out of the game again.
He played good defense that whole set. He had Denman underneath the basket with the backboard in the way, and he pump fake, and he gets up and he tries to block the shot. Stay on your feet. You had him boxed in. You had nowhere to go, and you bail him out with a foul.
So he's going to come out. Jabri will come back into the game to replace him, and it puts Yegor Denman back at the line. He's 2 for 2, and those are his only points so far on the night. And his free throw here rattles and stays. And slowly but surely, Brigham Young, shooting only 34% from the floor, came into the game shooting 49% as a team. They're pulling back into this down by 5.
Yeah, you knew they weren't going to continue to shoot at that horrendous clip. That's why it felt like the Friars were shooting 70% and only had a 9-point lead.
Second shot by Denman is good. So he's 4 for 4 at the line. And it's a 9-0 Cougar run. 2:47 to go in the half. Friars need a basket in the worst way right now. Joseph finds Barron on the right side against the zone. Again, top of the key, Joseph goes left for Pierre. Bounces back to Joseph in the middle.
Goes to the middle.
Takes the 3. There's Hopkins in the middle. After Barron, who gets off the 3 and hits.
John, it's an easy game. Hopkins flashes to the middle. They pass it to him. He throws it out for an open 3. You got to get somebody in, especially Hopkins now, because he can turn and go to the basket.
Barron's first basket of the night. Friars stop the 9-0 run. Traore in the game at the post. Nell left alone for 3. He missed one. Rebound knocked away. It was a foul, and they didn't call it, but the Friars get the ball. Hopkins spins away from Saunders, in the right corner. Back to Hopkins, top of the key. Jabri for three. Got it to go.
Jabri knocking down the three. Good pass by Hopkins right there. Jabri is in a nice rhythm right now. You got to find that guy. You got to milk him till his arm falls off.
11 points for Abdur Rahim here in the first half. Providence back up 10 with 1:47 to go in the half. Traore goes down low, reverses, missed the shot on the reverse layup. Hopkins with a rebound. That's a foul and didn't get called. Saunders going for the steal and made contact. Not sure what the refs are looking at. Barron comes off a screen, up high for Pierre, launches a three.
There you go, three in a row, 3 jumpers in a row. Friars now back up by 13. Good penetration in the throw out for the nut jumper.
First tray of the night for the Friars' leading scorer in Jaden Pierre. Dimon left side in front of the Providence bench. Joseph playing behind him, puts the ball on the floor between the legs, drives to the right, gets inside the foul line, leans in, fade away. No. Rebound tapped out of bounds. That's
over
Providence ball and an over-the-back foul.
On Saunders, I think.
They finally got him. He was over the back on the last time down the floor.
I think the physicality of the Friars now is starting to bother Brigham Young. I mean, their Friars have been bumping, and I think that's thrown off the shots from Brigham Young. But now they're getting a little frustrated out there. They're not making shots.
Second foul on Saunders, but just the 6th team foul. 16 fouls on BYU with 65 seconds to go before half. Friars have 9. Inbounds comes to Pierre, who will walk it in the forecourt to our right. Saunders is going to meet him halfway through.
Well, man-to-man now.
And they've gone back to man-to-man.
Now you come up, have Bryce set a screen up top with a little pick and pop of Bryce.
Pierre comes the screen off of Sanders, gives it to Hopkins down the lane, backs it up, got fouled.
It's an easy game. Friars got to figure it out right now. They just have to play better defense and rebound the ball. But, you want to play man. That's why Brigham Young went to zone. They don't want to have to deal with Hopkins with the ball at the foul line, getting to go to the basket either way.
Trevin Nell picks up the foul, his second, 7th on the team, but it'll be 2 shots here for Bryce Hopkins, who go to the free throw line for the first time in a year. He was just 66% from the foul line a year ago when he injured himself against Seton Hall.
Well, I was at practice with him.
And his shot here is no good, off to the left.
We were working on his free throws. It didn't look like we worked on it too much there, but I said to him what I did with Ryan Gomes. I told Ryan Gomes, if you shoot 80% or better, I'll take you to Capitol Grill for a steak. And I said, Hop, that's you and me. We got to do that. You got to shoot 80% or better. That's not a good start right now.
Second shot is good.
All right, he's at 50 right now. He's got a ways to go.
We'll have to monitor that situation.
But we got the monitor here tonight to help us.
That's right. 10-0 Friar run. Catchings has it. 3 left of the key is off the back iron. Rebound again underneath by Keita, and he scores on the Traore scores on the putback.
Well, Joseph was boxing out, but what Joseph has to do, John, when he's boxing out, jump or you box out. Then Traore will come over your back, and it'll be a foul over the back, but he didn't jump, and that's why Traore was able to get the rebound.
Vicente Traore, 8 points to lead by BYU in scoring, and he also has helped this team stay alive on the backboards. They have an 18-15 edge over on the backboards, but the offensive rebound is the story right now. As Tim English called the 30-second timeout, 33.9 on the clock. Friar lead is 12. So there's basically 4 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
That's Traore's first offensive rebound. It just seems like he has more, but Keita has 5 offensive rebounds and Catching has 3. So they've been getting on the glass. That's kept Brigham Young in the game, John.
It's an 11-0 advantage on the offensive glass for BYU.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting it done on the glass. Otherwise, they'd have a tough time in this game. Friars should be up by more. Friars making those 3-pointers, though, shooting the ball very well from out beyond the arc. Look at the Friars right now from 3-point range.
8 for 12.
8 for 12. They're taking 21 shots and hit 15 of them. So that kind of stats, if you bring them around, you got to feel like you're in decent shape, only down 12 at this point.
Friars have it here. Can basically take it almost down to the end of the half with a 12-point lead. Their largest lead has been 14.
Well, if it's man-to-man again, you got to have Hop coming up and do a little pick and roll, pick and pop.
Moet Mag is checked into the game for the first time, 6'7" grad student out of Melbourne, Australia.
Comes a double.
Double team out on Joseph out on the perimeter on the left sideline. In trouble, gives it up to Barron. Barron also in trouble, throws it off the leg of Hall. And the Friars save the possession with 11 to shoot, 14.3 to play.
I like that by the coach of Brigham Young. Might as well trap, because the team that wants to take the last shot, they want to bring the clock down. So you can gamble in that situation. They're going to take – Providence is not going to take a shot early in the clock.
Trey Stewart checks in, 6'2 senior from American Fork, Utah, for the last 14 seconds. Looking for the inbounds is Joseph. Finds Hopkins on the left sideline. Hopkins looks for some help, steps to the double team, goes right to the rim, crosses over, banks it up, rolls off the rim, gets fouled.
Move by Hopper. They beat a double team on that one.
He stepped through it. He stepped through the double team, and the foul is called on 0. That is Mawat Mag.
Yeah, I hope they stay in man-to-man, because there's nobody out there that can guard Hopkins.
So Hop will go to line to shoot 2 after just making 1 of 2 on the last trip down the floor. And the first free throw is good. All right, he's up to 67% now.
Yeah, he's getting there. We got to get him to 80. Got to stay at 80.
Abdul Rahim comes out. Arunse comes in. Corey Floyd comes in. Pierre goes out. Nope, Pierre's going to stay in. They'll bring Barron out.
Well, I was up at practice on Saturday, and the practice was over and everybody left, but Hopkins stayed there to shoot free throws. There's a few other guys who should stay there and shoot free throws.
We can name them. Pretty much the whole team.
Breeding is yelling at the Friar bench, said they have to sit down. Well, who has to sit down? The players have to sit down?
The players, I guess. I don't know. They're all standing out on the floor. That's Randy McCall.
Why is that bothering him? You got to watch the ball. You shouldn't
be
watching the bench. The bench is all the way down underneath the basket now.
Hopkins' second free throw is good. They got them both. He's got 7.5. Inbounds comes to Demon with 5 seconds left. Demon gets around Joseph, goes right to the rim, lost the ball, picks it up, gets the shot blocked at the buzzer, and a foul is called with 0.1 on the clock.
Oswin, freshman mistake right there. He hasn't jumped the whole ball game to try to block a shot, and he goes out and tries to block that shot and jumps and picks up the foul. That's just freshmanitis right there. You got to learn.
What
time and situation.
This is going to be 2 freebies right here for Yegor Demon.
He's making these.
So we have 2 here with 1/10 of a second on the clock, and the Friars with a 14-point lead. Demon's free throw is good. He's hit 5 of 5 from the line for his only points here in the half. Kiba Keita checks back in. And Demon has 1 more free throw. Played for Real Madrid after coming from Russia, as he hits the second one. And the Friars will just inbound the ball, and the clock will expire. And so the Friars will take a 12-point lead into the locker room over Brigham Young, 46-34. A little better offensive output for sure, but I think more importantly, Joe, better defense.
Well, the defense was there. The only negative for the Friars was their rebounding on the defensive end. They just couldn't stop Brigham Young from getting second shot opportunities, and having Hopkins back makes a big difference. I mean, he makes everybody else more comfortable out there and makes Brigham Young change the defense on the other end.
Certainly makes them look like they're playing with more of a flow out on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing with confidence and knocking down three-point shots. That's always good. But they had a little bit of good flow. When it's against that zone, they got the ball in the middle. When you get the ball in the middle of Hopkins, he can really make things happen.
Austin Rooke has our halftime scoreboard and highlight update coming up. Friars by a dozen at the break over the Cougars from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball.
Bryce had 7 in that first half. All righty. What do we have for highlights? I got to do something for Bryce. Yep, I got you. No, so if you could come back clean, and then I'll introduce the highlights for Bryce, and then got to have something from Jabri also, I think. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to contradict myself here because, we got to mention Bryce being back, but Bensley had 10 in the first half too. So can you come back with a Hopkins highlight? and then I'll go to Bensley first and then Jabri. If you've got, yeah, so we'll do 3 highlights. Come back with Bryce. And then what do you have for Bensley and Jabri? Do you just have 3s? Okay, do those. That's fine. Yeah, so just come back with Bryce, and then I'll do Bensley, then Jabri. Sweet. I can say the same for you now, huh? Yeah, I can hold the bag. I gotta get the dark chocolate. And I gotta get the 3 Musketeers. Thank you. That's why we didn't win in the Bahamas. We didn't have any candy. How about Brown going on the road at UVM and winning? Were they picked to win America East? Boy, is that a sight for sore eyes here in Friartown. Bryce Hopkins with 7 first-half points, 2 of 3 from the field in his debut here in 2024-25. He's missed the last 29 games of Providence College basketball action, but he's here on the floor tonight and has helped his team to a 46-34 lead here at halftime here at the Amp. Austin Rooke with you here. Providence and BYU in the second game of the Big East Big 12 battle. The Friars, well, they had some contributions from Bryce Hopkins in that first half, but he was not the star. That was Bensley Joseph and Jabri Abdur-Rahim. First, this 3 from Bensley Joseph, who had 10 first half points. Bensley, a perfect 4 of 4 from the field, including a pair from downtown. And should mention as well, he's been the main defender on Yegor Demon in that first half, a guy projected to go maybe in the high lottery, maybe top 5 in next summer's NBA draft. Bensley Joseph, who gives up about a foot to Yegor Demon, has been the primary defender, especially coming off of those high ball screens. Jabri Abdur-Rahim, though, you know, he's been kind of up and down in his prior career to start through the first 8 games of the season, but he's been awesome in this first half. He's a streaky shooter, but he's showing the good streaky. He's got two threes, including this one in the first half. And that was part of a huge 9-10-0 Friar run in the last about 2.5 minutes of that first half, where BYU had closed the lead to within 4 at one point at 34-30, and the Friars then rip off 12-4 run to end the half, 46-34. The Friars shoot 8 of 12 from downtown, 8 of 10 from the line, and 15 of 21 overall in that first half, good for 71%. By far the best offensive output in any half by the Friars this year. Back with more here at halftime from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball. All right, so we'll go to Nova. We'll go to Butler. I'll mention Brown. Huh? Yeah, whatever. Nothing else relevant, really. No, I can mention the other Big East games coming up tomorrow. Are you going to come back and play the disclaimer? Okay. All right, sweet. All right, so we got Baylor, UConn, we got Marquette, Iowa State, Kansas, Creighton, all tomorrow. Jesus. DePaul, Texas Tech, also tomorrow. Second half's going to be about can they withstand the push, because you know they're going to make a push. They're going to get this thing within 5. You know they are.
Providence College Athletics would like to thank the following corporate partners: 110 Grill, Amica Insurance, Atwell's Group, Automated Business Solutions, Balance Wealth Management, Bank Newport member FDIC, The Capitol Grill, Casarino's Restaurant, Coast to Coast, Corona, Dave's Marketplace, Duffy and Sweeney Ltd, Hanush Jewelers, J. Montgomery Scott, LLC, Marco Technologies, Midland Roofing, Miller Lake, Wilton Cat, New England Ford Dealers, Laborers International Union of North America, New England Region, Providence College School of Business, Raps Auto Parts, Reback, Rhode Island Department of Transportation,
Guy from Princeton had a triple-double tonight. First in school history.
Santander Bank, Saki Hot Dogs, Sequel, The Graduate Province, Truly, Union Local 51, WPRO Channel 12, Hot Potato Food Truck, Breeze Airways, in partnership.
When was the last time since the league reconfigured, what, 11, 12 years ago now? When was the last time the Big East had one team ranked? Probably year 1. Okay.
We don't have a lot of time.
Okay. I'll be quick. When do I have to get out by? Austin Rooke back here at the Amp. Providence with a 46-34 advantage over the BYU Cougars here in the Big East Big 12 battle here in the 401. 2 other games in the Big East tonight. Of course, game number 1 in the Big East Big 12 battle goes the way of the Big East. Villanova with a great win at home, 68-60 over the Cincinnati Bearcats, who came into the game undefeated at 6-0, and number 14 in the country, Eric Dixon. 31 points in the game for the Wildcats on 23 shots, but still 31 points and 7 boards for Eric Dixon. Butler with a 15-point victory over Eastern Illinois at home tonight. 20 points for Jamil Telfort and 20 for Patrick McCaffrey as well. Should mention locally, a good win on the road for the Brown Bears. Going to UVM. Vermont Catamounts 60-53. Brown goes into upstate Vermont and wins over the America East favorite. Right here at the Amp, 46-34. Can the Friars pull it out and make the Big East go 2-0 in the Big East Big 12 battle? Second half action coming up next from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball.
Good. That's fine. It's fine. This will that's fine. This will give us a minute after we come back. So it's really all we need. Yeah. Yeah. We have a Kim show. So our next Kim English show is Thursday. All right. Got it. Oh, my goodness. Holy smokes. What a shot. Man, that's a hell of a way to lose it. Okay. I'm going to send them to you. Okay. Okay. No problem. John Rooke, Joe Hassett back live at the camp. About a minute to go before we get started here in the second half. Providence with a 46-34 lead over Brigham Young. Their biggest lead was 14 in the first half. But, Joe, BYU was able to hang around as close as they did, even though the Friars shot 71% from the floor in the half because they pulled down 11 of their 18 rebounds on the offensive glass.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to get second chance points. It had 10 of them. Friars didn't need to get second chance points because they didn't have any offensive rebounds, shooting 15 for 21. That's pretty good. You'll take that all day. But the thing that was most impressive for me for the Friars too, John, was their bench scoring. You know, Kim has used a lot of guys this year off the bench, and sometimes we talk about the rotation, but Bensley Joseph and Abdul Rahim almost outscored the five starters by themselves. They had 21
10
points.
guys in the half.
Right. They scored 21 points, and the starters scored 22 points. So that's a nice thing to have that kind of balance when you come off the bench. And then Bryce Hopkins, we gave him some nice minutes out there. He had 7 points in that first half and had the 3 rebounds, but he was a presence out there, and he was a leading assist guy on the team too, with 2 of them. So nice to see Bryce back. He makes, like I said to you in the pregame, John, he makes everybody better.
He played 15 minutes in the half, 7 points, 3 rebounds. Friars were led by Jabri Abdur-Rahim with 11 off of the bench, and Bensley Joseph had 10.
Yeah, and they both hit threes, too. Rahim was 3 for 4 from 3. Bensley didn't hit a 3, but he went to the basket and finished. You know, the Friars are getting that opening. They got to get in there and finish.
He had 2 threes.
Oh, yeah, they didn't have them.
You're looking at the wrong one.
Oh, we're in the wrong stat. Okay, Bensley was perfect from the floor. He's 4 for 4, too. But that's what you need to have. You need to have guys coming off the bench give you that little spark, and those guys did a good job there.
Wesley Cardette with 3 fouls in the half is going to start the second half. BYU was led by 8 points from Kruseni Traore, their 6'6 senior big man out of Mali, but he does not start the second half. They'll put Kiba Keita in there to start the half. So both teams with their original 5s out on the floor to start the second half. BYU in the dark blue, Friars in the home white. Cougars will open up with the ball to start the second half. They'll inbound into the backcourt and go basket to our right on the radio here in half number 2. Friars in man-to-man, and Demon with the ball. Friars switch defensively, kicks it left to Catchings. Back out front for Demon. Demon's going to drive on Asandiko. He's going to step back, fake the three, find Hall, gives it back to Demon. He's going to work in the post, spin around, fade away, up, missed it. Asandiko with a rebound.
Good job by Crease that time, playing on the perimeter on the defensive end.
Demon's had all kinds of trouble from the floor tonight. He is 0 for 8 shooting the ball, but 6 for 6 from the line. Friars basket to our left, shovel pass down low for Hopkins. Going to try to post up on Saunders, spins to the inside and got it slapped away from behind by Catchings.
The Catching came in and helped out on that one. They want to post up Hopkins, though, inside on Saunders.
He tomahawked that one out to Demon, left of the key. Back out front for Hall. Hall penetrates right, goes down into the post, crosses all the way under the basket. Back out for Saunders for three. Nope. And the rebound tapped off the glass, and the Friars hold on to it.
Well, Sandago gets another rebound. Good job using his physical presence in there, keeping everybody off the board.
So here comes Pierre into the four-corner from his bench. He's going to slide into the lane, turn around on Demon, kick it out for Sandaco. He's got an open three. Missed that one after hitting one in the first half, and Catchings grabs the rebound. Now for Demon, who brings it left to right into the forecourt, spins off of Pierre, works to the right side, behind the back with a pass to Keita. The jump hook bounces out, and Floyd grabs the rebound.
Well, 3 defensive rebounds in a row for the Friars. We didn't see that the whole first half.
Right side for Floyd, comes off a high screen, goes left for Pierre, give and go underneath for Sandaco. Got it tipped out of bounds by Saunders on the post. And Providence will keep it with 19 to shoot.
Good idea by Pierre. Sandaco wasn't able to catch that ball. If he catches that, he has a layup.
Friars will inbound, baseline left of the basket. Floyd has Catchings doing jumping jacks in front of him. Looks for the inbounds lob out to Hopkins on the left wing. Saunders guarding him, going to take him off the dribble. Looks right to the rim, missed his shot, got fouled.
That's a bad matchup for BYU as Saunders trying to guard Hopkins. Hopkins has about 25 pounds on him to begin with, and he's taller than he is. He just takes him to the basket, no problem.
And that's 3 fouls now on Richie Saunders.
Richie Saunders made the all-tournament team in the 2-game tournament they had out in California that we'll be playing in next year.
Beat NC State. They lost to 23rd-ranked Ole Miss on Thursday. Their only loss of the season thus far. Hopkins at the line. Free throw is too hard, in and out. He hit 3 of 4 from the line in the first half as part of his 7 points. Dawson Baker, 6'4" redshirt junior out of Coto de Caza, California. Back into the game for the Cougars. Second shot for Hop is good. 1 of the 2. Friars get the first point of the second half, go back up 13. 18-15 to play. Dallin Hall has it between the circles for BYU. Loses the ball, dribbled it off his foot, and it's picked up by Pierre. Pierre tries to control the dribble, drives down the lane, got knocked to the floor, but no foul. Inside to Sandaco for the flush from Corey Floyd.
Good pass, Corey Floyd. Looked at the 3 and threw a bullet pass inside there. The big fella and finishes it off.
5 for Crease. Friars now have the largest lead of the game at 15. Handoff for Saunders. Hall between the circles, comes to the right against the Friar man, and Pierre is called for a foul.
Man, they haven't called that a whole game. And Pierre got over the top that time. I mean, that's a weak call right there.
Second on Pierre. First one of the second half called on Providence. Baker will inbound near his bench on the near side. Forecourt to our right. Keita now has it outside the three-point stripe. Kim English stomps the floor in front of us. Hall in front of his bench. Screen is set. Hall drives to the left. Throws it underneath. And he tried to go for the dunk to Keita, and the Friars again called for a foul. It's on Sandaco. And that's 3 on Crease. Friars are starting to get into some foul trouble.
Yeah, I mean, Crease has been playing good basketball in this one. He's been a presence underneath with his size. And that one there, came over the top there. They didn't switch that one and tried to throw the alley-oop to Keita.
Keita's only a 45% foul shooter. We got the Chick-fil-A foul shot here as he misses the first one. He averages 6.8 points, but 9.5 rebounds per game. He had 4 in the first half on up-close dunks.
That's a good possibility. Could be a Chick-fil-A night.
Second one is no good, and it's Sandaco with a rebound. Chick-fil-A for the crowd.
Early on here in the second half.
Friars will walk it right to left into the forecourt up the right sideline with Jaden Pierre. Pierre Feeds the right side with a bounce pass to Hopkins. Hopkins turns and looks on Baker. Back out front now for Floyd at the center. Goes left of the screen. Pulls it out on the three-point stripe. Down to 7 to shoot. And Pierre now loses the dribble. Goes to the floor to save the ball. And now they're going to call a held ball with 1 second on the clock. And it's going to be BYU's ball anyway.
Good. You don't want to have to fry.
Oh no, it is Providence's ball.
Yeah, you don't want that with 1 second to go.
Oh, that's right, because they inbounded the
it.
ball. So now they're going to get it anyway.
Again, getting those untimely turnovers. I mean, he's usually good with the basketball.
Friars only had 4 turnovers in the first half.
This is a catch and shoot really fast.
Pierre inbounds from the right sideline to Hopkins, who's got to throw it up at the basket, and he does. He actually made the shot, but it came after the buzzer.
Well, Bryce has to know. I mean, there's 1 second, Bryce. There's a big clock in your face out there. You go 1 second on the shot clock. How are you looking to pass it when you catch the ball? I mean, you just got to know better than that. I mean, come on.
Awareness has been a problem with this team. Absolutely. 5th turnover of the game as Baker now brings it into the forecourt for BYU, driving on Bensley Joseph, but just checked back in for catching. Stops top of the key, leans in for the jumper. Off the back iron, Hopkins clears the glass.
Yeah, that's another presence here. Hopkins on the rebounding side. He can really board it.
Right side for Cardette. Back out front for Hop. He's going to penetrate down the lane, muscle it off left. Bensley for 3, off the front rim. Rebound chased down, poked away by Asandako. It goes out of bounds. It's going to stay BYU ball.
Hop got hit in the face early on, and he's still wincing over there. He got hit in the face. But Hopkins looks good. I mean, he looks good out there right now, and his presence on the floor is making everybody better. I know I've said that a number of times, but he gets in more rhythm, starts rebounding the ball, and starts pushing the ball up on a fast break. That's when things will really light up for him.
Jabri Abdur-Rahim checks in. Also, Oswin Arunse checks in. Top of the key for Keba Keita. Now hands back off to Baker, goes around the screen as Cardette guarding him, slides down the lane, reverses, and scores. Nice move by Dawson Baker. First basket, first points of the second half for BYU, and we played almost 4 minutes.
Oswald's got to be more of a shot-blocking presence in there, though. He should have had that blocked.
Cardette left of the key, up high for Joseph. Joseph comes off a screen to the right side, penetrates for Jabri on the right wing. Back out front for Pierre, 1 foot in the center circle, drives right by Saunders, gets in the lane, throws up the runner and scores.
That's it, Jaden. Turn the corner out there, hit that little floater. He's very good at that shot. He's got to take more of those.
And that is 7 for Jaden. Friars back up 15. Loose ball, Saunders picked up by Hall out near the mid-floor line. Hall, left-handed dribble between the legs, goes around a high screen, comes down the left side of the lane, spins inside, looks for Keita underneath, gets closed out. Back out front for Catching. Saunders between the circles, 9 to shoot. Hands off for Catching. Catching dribbles to the right, goes back again for Dawson, goes inside for Baker. Baker throws up the runner, scores again.
A good shot by Baker. That, the defense was pretty good, though. That shot clock was down to single digits. The Friars were making them work out there, trying to be physical.
Back-to-back baskets for Dawson Baker makes it 51-38. And we're coming up on 15 minutes to play. Joseph finds Cardette between the circles for Arunse. Hands off for Joseph, and Joseph gets fouled by Dallin Hall. No,
it's Arunse handing off on the screen.
Arunse again on an offensive foul on an illegal screen. They just can't seem to figure that one out.
Well, Kim's going to buy some time with Arunse and Asandako until maybe 8 minutes to go in the game and play Hopkins at the center position. That's what's going to happen. They'll go small at the end.
Timeout, 15:07 to go. Cougars back within 13 from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball.
A free original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. Remember, only available at Chick-fil-A, Chick-fil-A, Providence delivery. Everyone here tonight, 48 hours following tonight's game, to stop by and participate in Chick-fil-A location. Show your Chick-fil-A app notification card. You can find that right in your Friars game day app. Congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you.
Wow. And that's at Oklahoma.
But Kevin Turback really upset. I never seen him get like that. He said,
what was that?
they're setting 15 screens illegally, and we set one, and they call a foul.
Here we go. He's not wrong. The New England laborers are training the workforce of today that will build tomorrow. With state-of-the-art training academies throughout New England, you'll be equipped with the construction skills, knowledge, and experience to start your career and a better tomorrow. Liuna. Feel the power. You know, this is the first time that BYU has ever played the Friars here on Providence's home floor, but this is not the first time BYU has played in this building. Back in 1981, they beat Princeton and then 10th ranked UCLA in the NCAA tournament. And yep,
Danny
that Cougar
Ainge,
team was led by Danny Ainge.
Had hit the shot at the buzzer and kept running out the door there. It was a great shot he made.
Hard to believe that was 43 years ago.
Oh, my goodness. That's a long, long time ago.
Unbelievable. Yes,
But you look,
old. Thank you.
You know, you look at, we're just talking about the officials, and your buddy James Breeding just called a legal screen by Oswin.
Yep.
And you got Brigham Young. That's all they do is set screens down the other end, and none have been called on them. And they do high pick and rolls on every single possession, 2 or 3 of them on every single possession. And he calls one on the Friars. So, I mean, you got to be a little bit more consistent. You got to call that foul on Oswin just giving the handing the ball over. You got to call a few on Brigham Young.
15:07 to play. 51-38. Friars had a 12-point lead at halftime. BYU with the basketball. Biggest lead has been 15 here in the second half. Dallin Hall has it up high. Traore has checked into the game. Had a good first half with 8 to lead the Cougars. Now for Dawson Baker with Hall. Back to Baker, left of the key. Moves to the right, steps to a double team. Traore kicks it off the corner. Good ball, reverse it out to Baker for 3, and he hits.
The Friars tried something different right there. They had the screener go out and double team, and they freed up Baker. He knocks down the 3-pointer.
Baker has all 7 of BYU's second half points in the 5.5 minutes we've been playing. And it's 51-41. Here's Jabri, goes right to the rim and gets fouled hard, entering the left side by Brigham Young. And foul is called on Trevin Nell, who also just checked into the game.
Moved by Raheem. You know, he's using his shooting ability to get himself to the basket. He comes around that 3-point line, and they just run at him. They don't want him to take a 3, and he gets to the basket nicely there. And you want him on the foul line. He's the best foul shooter on the team, right?
Had 11 points to lead the Friars in scoring in the first half at 3 of 4 from the line. On the season, came into the game at 79%, been in the 80s all season long. And the free throw here is good. One more coming. His 12th point of the night.
Yeah, he's the guy that I felt like could be an important part of this team because Kim English likes to spread the floor and shoot threes, and this guy can really shoot it.
Second shot is also good. And the Friars go back up a dozen. 14.5 on the clock. Brigham Young with the possession. Dallin Hall will bring him to the forecourt on Bensley Joseph. Works to the left side, stops the dribble short. Baker now has a high screen. Cuts to the right side, goes down the right side of the lane, and they leave him alone, and he scores on a layup.
Osmond's got to do a better job of patrolling in the paint. I mean, he just got blocked out that time. He's got to try to block some shots.
Baker now has all 9 second half points for BYU. Spinning up high to the left side for Corey Floyd. Floyd goes back to the right, and a whistle is called. Or is blown.
Yeah, they're going to call that on Hall inside.
30. Yep, Dallin Hall for a hold.
Trying to get in front of Oswin in the post there.
Second foul on Hall, third team foul. Friars will get the shot clock at 20. Will inbound baseline left of the bucket. There's a lob for Oswin out the elbow. Bounces top of the key for Floyd. Comes to Jabri, catch and shoot for 3, missed it. Rolled off the rim, and a foul is called on the Friars. Number 10, Rich Barron for a push.
Well, Rich trying to get in there and get an offensive rebound. Those have been few and far between for the Friars in this ball game.
They still have 0 offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
First foul on Barron, 4th team foul. BYU now, Joe, has hit their last 4 shots in a row, all of them from Dawson Baker, who has the ball. Drives down the right side, runner up, missed one. Got his own rebound. Reversal out to Hall for 3. Off the back iron, and finally a rebound for the Friars with Joseph. pushes up the floor. Friars on the break to Joseph. To Floyd. Floyd kicks through the free throw line. He finds Barron wide open for three in the corner, and he can't connect.
Yes.
Catchings, rebounds.
He's waiting there too long. He was wide open for the whole time.
Catch and shoot for three. Good for Trevin Nell from the right corner, and Brigham Young is back within 7, and Kim English calls a timeout.
That's a 6-point swing right there. Yeah, Barron wide open, couldn't make it, and Nell knocks it down for Brigham Young.
53-46, 13-16 left. The Cougars are charging back. You knew they were going to be due for it. We'll take the timeout from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball. Someone's getting tossed.
And somebody, Brigham Young, is way up in the corner there.
Milton Cat, your Caterpillar equipment dealer for the Northeast, is a proud sponsor of Providence College Athletics. John Rooke with Joe Hassett at the amp. We've got 13-16 to go, but BYU's on a 10-2 run. Friars don't have a field goal, Joel, in the last 2:42 on the clock, and Brigham Young is pulled back within 7.
Well, you knew the Friars at some point was going to have a shooting spell where they wouldn't make any shots, and it's been here in the second half. They're just 2 for 7 at 28%, 0 for 4 from three-point range. They're keeping themselves in and on the foul line, though, 3 for 4. Brigham Young, on the other hand, is 5 for 11 here in the second half, 2 for 4 from three-point range. So they're just too good a shooting team, Brigham Young, to stay cold the whole ball game, and the Friars weren't going to continue to shoot at 70%, that's for sure. So the defense has to pick up a little better. And here comes that small lineup that I thought Coach English would utilize, but he's going to go to it a little bit earlier now because he wasn't getting anything out of Oswin. He's got 3 fouls on the big fella, Priest. So, you're going to go with Hopkins in the middle now with 13 minutes to go in the second half.
The Friars have the basketball, and they can do this because the tallest Cougar out there is 6'6", Fuseni Traore.
Well, they're in zone now, and that's a good thing. You got to get into the offense quicker and find Raheem for an open look.
Barron on the right side of that 2-3 zone. Hands off to Joseph. Bounce pass to the middle for Hopkins. He drives to the left in on Fuseni. Goes up. Got fouled to the floor and will go to the line to shoot 2 as his teammates are quick to the floor to help him up.
Now, that's a bad matchup for anybody on Brigham Young. Nobody's going to be able to stop Hopkins. He gets the ball in that foul line, and they want to take away the three-point shot. Hopkins live on the foul line the rest of this game. He's got to knock him down.
So Fuseni Traore picks up his first. That's 4 now on BYU. And Hopkins will go to the foul line here. He is at 4 of 6 tonight. Make it 5 out of 7.
Hop is such a weapon. I mean, he can play that center position, rebound, push the ball up the floor on the break. He's got great speed and quickness, and he's physical. He get inside and post up people.
Second shot's good, and he's got now 10 points in the ball game. Friars back up 9. Pressure in the backcourt for the Friars. Hall has it against Jaden Pierre. Man pressure as Hall crosses over the mid-floor line, works to the left side, dumps it off between the circles for Baker. And then Baker gets fouled by Joseph. Came up a little tight on the body.
Bensley's a 50th senior. You can't do those plays. You got to, you want to get up in his grill a little bit, but you got to give yourself arm extension. Don't reach in on a guy you're 35, 40 feet from the basket.
First on Joseph. That's 5 on the Friars here in the half. BYU inbounds near their bench. Middle of the floor for Baker. Baker cuts to the right. Tries to slide to the basket. Gives it back out for Nell. Nell doesn't get the 3 off. Up high now for Boscovich, who's checked in. Driving the baseline. Ball is losing the paint. Picked up by Boscovich. In and out on the rebound. And Jabri manages to cradle it and hold it.
Hopkins was able to deflect that pass, too.
Out for Hopkins. Top of the key. Jabri. Deep 3. Oh, my.
Jabri's got some range, baby. Nice pass by Hopkins. You see Hopkins in the middle trying to post him up. He's stronger than their center right now.
16 for Jabri Abdul-Rahim, and the Friars are back up by a dozen. Hall trying to answer for 3, short. Long rebound taken by Pierre in the lane. Pierre up the right sideline into the forecourt to our left. Stops. Hopkins, top of the key, shares it left for Jabri. Rolls to his right. Back to Hopkins on the left wing. He shakes, he drives, kicks it through. Right corner, Barron for 3.
Again, Hopkins getting the ball to the middle. Everybody collapse, finds a 3-point shooter. Barron knocks down the 3.
Brigham Young calls timeout.
Good execution right there. But again, John, I told you in pregame, Hopkins just makes everybody better out on the floor. It makes the game easier for everybody because you have to atone for him when he goes to the basket. Everybody knows looking coming to the bench here, big smile. Everybody's slapping Hopkins 5.
Fans on their feet, crowd yelling, yes, yes, yes. 61-46 with the timeout. We'll take it from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball.
Too bad he wasn't ready to play at Oklahoma. We'd have won the Oklahoma game, and I think we'd have won the next game too.
Yeah, probably.
We could have won that tournament.
We just had a bad physical matchup with Indiana. They I mean, very few teams are going to match up with them.
They're too big.
They are big.
That power forward, who are we going to play? We got Pat Caudette on them. Forget it.
We easily could have and probably should have won 2. Should have.
Oh yeah, we shouldn't. We wouldn't lose to Davidson right now.
No,
we could have beaten Oklahoma. I mean, we had nobody. We played lousy and lost that game by a deuce.
But then again, if we'd beaten Oklahoma, we wouldn't have played Davidson.
I know that's true. Well, we got some ways to go here, but I mean, there's no answers for Hopkins out there. They want to play zone, they get in the middle of him. They want to play man, they just pick and pop and let him go down the middle. Everybody's so concerned about 3-point shots. You got to play Hopkins one-on-one. There's nobody can guard him.
For water, fire, or mold damage, call Rhode Island Restoration. 401-414-1111. Rhode Island's top choice for property damage cleanup and repair. Emergency service available 24/7.
You know, Bryce Hopkins being in the lineup now, John, he just provides so much out on the floor. He has 10 points in the ball game. He has 4 assists. He's the leading assist man in the game. Nobody on the Friars has more than 1 assist. He has 4. He's 6 for 8 from the line. He's only taken 4 shots in the ball game, and he's plus 23 when he's on the floor. So, but I mean, he is the guy that makes things happen out there. And sometimes what he's doing is not showing up in the stats either. You know, when you're playing him on defense as an opposition, you have to say, okay, what are we going to do with Hopkins? So you go zone, he gets the ball in the middle, and you try to take away the 3. And now that's what Kim Inglis likes to have. He wants 3-point shooters on the floor. So you got Raheem out there. When he's open, he's knocking down 3s. Then you got Barron in the corner. That's his favorite spot. He knocks down a 3. But Hopkins makes all that happen because he has a good feel to get the ball to the guys. And I told you so often, John, when you have a play like Hopkins on your team, everybody else becomes more comfortable and in the flow of the game. They don't feel like they have to do it because they have Bryce there when they need him, and he can get everything done for them. So it's just a different feel. And that's just a small lineup that I thought we would see maybe with 8 minutes to go, but King's going with it with 13 minutes to go, and they built it up to a 15-point lead.
Friars on an 8-0 run over the last minute and 14 seconds. BYU inbounds it, and Demon is back into the game. Joseph on him.
Demon hasn't played much in this game.
Traore goes left side with Baker. fakes the three, fires the three, and hits the three.
You got to stay on your feet. You go out,
Dawson Baker has 12 of the 15 second half BYU points.
You got to stay on your feet. I mean, Benson's got to know better. You close out with your hands up, make him make a tough shot over you.
Only averages 7 points per game. Hopkins, top of the key, right for Pierre. Got an open look at three. It's an air ball, but saved by, they're going to say he came out of bounds with the ball. As Rich Barron thought he had it saved off of the legs.
That's
of
unusual. It's unusual. Pierre taking a shot and shooting an air ball. He's normally a pretty good shooter out there.
See that. 61-49. Friars have just matched their largest lead of the game at 15. Demon into the forecourt and then finds Baker, who's the man of the hour right now for Brigham Young. Trior down low is going to work against Hopkins in the post, muscling his way in, turns around with a jump hook and missed one. So Hopkins plays the tough D.
Good D. You're not going to move Hopkins. He's too strong. You tried to move him out of the way. He didn't move.
Hand off on the left wing. Hopkins has it. He's going to drive on Demon. Down low, lays it up, won't get it. Got knocked to the floor, but didn't get a call.
Good move there by Hopkins. Just
Quick
didn't
pass
finish it.
Up the floor for Baker. Steps back, gets off another three. Can't get it. Jabri with a rebound.
Good D. That time you challenged the shot on Baker. He had a hand in his face. It's a tough time to make the shot over a hand in your face.
Usandiko getting ready to come back into the game for the Friars on the next dead ball. Pierre finds Hopkins, right side for Barron. Barron stops, shovels it to Hopkins. Demon playing him. Double team finds him out to Barron. Pierre kicks left. Jabri for three. Oh, yeah.
Jabri for three. He was standing in that corner wide open for a while. They get it to him. The guy is automatic when he squares those shoulders.
Season high 19 for Jabri Abdur-Rahim. And the Friars are back up 15. Baker drives to the right elbow into the right corner now for Boskovic. Boskovic up high for Demon, who gets off a deep three. That's no good, and the rebound taken by Hopkins.
How about Hopkins? Battling it inside, keeping the big fellow off the boards.
Pierre pushes, right corner with the ball, driving baseline. Bensley reverses. Oh, it won't stick. Demon with the rebound. He leads the break the other way. Tip from behind by Bensley and picked up by Hopkins, and then Hopkins gets fouled from behind. That should be an intentional right there. Absolutely. He was grabbed by Traore after he got the ball and started up the floor.
That was a great play.
And they're going to call an intentional.
It should. Great play by Pierre, John. He came in from the backside, never quit on the play, tipped the ball ahead. And Hopkins is gassed out there. He did a great job of keeping Traore off the glass, boxing him out. Traore's a moose. He's able to keep him off the glass. Hopkins got to go to the line here.
So Hopkins will go to the line here on the intentional foul. Second personal on Traore. That's their fifth team foul. So Hop has hit 6 of 8 from the foul line for the ball game. Has 10 total points. Scored 7 of that in the first half. And the free throw here is good.
Nice to see Hop back. I mean, he is really playing a good ball game here.
So he'll get one more try with nobody around the rim basket to our left in front of his bench. Second shot, bounces and stays.
I want to get him up to 80. Yeah, he needs a break, man. He said, I got to come out.
Got to have a blow. So he comes out, Asandiko comes in, and the Friar lead is now its largest of the game at 17.
You know, the fans all stand up for Hop, too. I mean, these guys, the fans here get it. I mean, they know what he means to this team right now, and he's the big reason why they have that big lead.
13-3 is the Friar run. Jaden Pierre is yelling at the official, give me the ball. Good to see that. Abdur-Rahim comes left now for Barron. Circles out front for Joseph. Takes the dribble right. And he's on Boskovic. He's going to drive on Boskovic down into the paint. Kicks it out to Barron. He's called for a travel.
Well, Joseph gets a travel there. He's got to keep that dribble one more alive. If you don't have anything in there, just keep your dribble and loop back out again. They're trying to get some penetration and throw it out for a three.
Friars have 7 turnovers in the ballgame. Demon walks it into the forecourt at the top of the key. Starts right. Boskovic left. On the wing there for Baker. Baker now in the corner. With it is Nell. Trevin Nell, who's hit a couple of threes. Back out front to Baker, who's been their entire offense this half. Baker with 10 to shoot. Finds a high screen. Asandiko comes out to grab him. Get his hands up high as he spins on Asandiko. Leans in. Bank shot. No. Rebound taken, though, by Baker. He pulled it away. And a whistle under the basket is called on Priest.
Well, he played good defense on that one, but he couldn't get the rebound. Priest is 7-footer, can't jump over a phone book, but he almost got that rebound there, but just wasn't able to get it.
And that's 4 fouls on his Sandico. But I think they're going to leave him in for the time being.
Yeah, why not? You're
Mowat
going to give Bryce a break here, and Sandico can play until you get Bryce. They're going to put Hop back in again now for Sandico, who has the 4
Mowat,
fouls.
Mag, and Trey Stewart into the game for BYU. Sandico comes out with that 4th foul. And so Barron is also back into the game for the Friars. Shot clock reset at 20, 8:44 to play. So Jabri is actually going to play at the center now.
Yeah, you got Barron who came back in. He was the only guy who could really come in for Sandico because he just took Barron out.
So it'll be Demon to inbound for the baseline, left of the basket, and lob it out to Catchings. Catchings on Jabri, steps back for a deep 3. Can't get it. Rebound loose. And over the back again over Barron.
Barron over the top.
Goodness.
This is a small unit out here because you got Raheem now at 6'8", but he plays as a
my
guard.
issue is that they're not calling it equally on both ends of the floor.
Well, that was a foul there, though. He came over the back of him. I thought that was a foul.
They're going to put Mowat Mag, 6'7" grad transfer from Rutgers by way of Melbourne, Australia, at the line. That was the 17th foul.
Well, he's had a few miles on him.
Going to shoot a 1-and-1, and the free throw is good. That's his first point of the ball game. Averages 2.8 per game. Has played 6 of the 7 games off of the bench for BYU. He averaged 9 points per game last season at Rutgers off of the bench. And the second shot from Mag is up, bounces, and stays. Got them both. Makes it 66-51, 8:38 to go. Inbounds comes to Pierre. He wants to take it man-on-man against Stewart in the backcourt. Cross the midfield line to Joseph. Joseph now settles between the circles. Start to the right, comes back to the left. Guarded there by Yegor Demon. Crosses over, goes to the rim. Bounces inside for Corey, who flushes it.
Good play by Joseph. I mean, he beat his man off the dribble, penetration, and Corey flashed the spot to get the dunk.
First basket of the game for Corey Floyd. Ball comes to the right wing. Mag chases it down. Back to Demon. Demon left of the key. Going to put up a deep 3 over Floyd. Nope, won't get it. Loose ball. Catching, saves it, but throws it right to Corey Floyd. Friars have a 3-on-2. Floyd hands off for Barron. Comes back out to Corey. Now between the circles for Joseph, and he'll pull it back out to set it up.
Yeah, that's good. Use some time now. You didn't get a good look early. Use the clock.
Under 7:45 remaining. Joseph on the left wing pulls the ball back out against Yegor Demon. Down to 9 to shoot. Bounce pass left. Jabri steps to his left. Fires the 3 from the corner. Oh, it won't stick. Demon with a rebound. Long pass into the forecourt right for Catching. Crosses over. Lost the ball. A foul is called. Wow. There was a double dribble there. It was a double dribble. My goodness. And they called the foul on Bensley Joseph. Timeout. 7:28 to play. As official Tommy Johnson explains, there was no double dribble on that one. And it will be a BYU 1-and-1 after the timeout. Friars lead at 68-51 from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball. What did that guy say? No. Oh, I like that one. That's good.
This is a tough crowd here, man.
That's good. Did you see that off the reflection on your head? Hey, got to give credit where credit's due. Oh, man. What? Yeah. Follically challenged. SeatGeek is now the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Providence Friars. Whether you're buying or selling basketball tickets, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek, so Friar fans can fan.
Well, Friars are doing a good job in the second half here, rebounding the ball and making free throws. Just 6 for 15, though, from the floor, 3 for 9 from three-point range. But how about this? The Friars have 26 rebounds in the ball game, 0 offensive rebounds, which is unusual when you think about what Brigham Young has 31 rebounds, out-rebounding the Friars, and almost half their rebounds are offensive rebounds, 15 of them. So the Friars' defense has been superb. And Igor Demmin, who is considered a first-round pick in the NBA by many NBA scouts, is 0 for 10 from the floor, 0 for 5 from three-point range. His only points are on the foul line. He's 6 for 6, and he's got 3 rebounds, and he's only played in 21 minutes. So Friars done a great job on him, challenging every shot, making him work.
BYU, Joe, is 11 for 35 from 2. That's eerily similar to what the Friars did against Davidson.
Almost the exact same numbers.
They were 10 for 37.
Friars are working hard on that three-point shot. They're 7 for 21 from 3. The Friars 11 for 21 from 3.
It will be Cannon Catchings, 6'9" freshman from Indiana. And he missed the free throw on the 1-and-1. Friars grabbed the rebound. Only a 46% shooter. He missed it. Friars have the ball. Joseph to Jabri, left side. Penetration there for Pierre. Cut off there by Stewart at guard for BYU. So he'll pull it out on the perimeter with the shot clock running down to 10 seconds. Pierre now between the circles with it. Going to go up for a deep 3.
Boom. Jaden likes that little shake when he goes with the left hand, then pulls up, shoots a jumper, knocks down a 3.
10 for Pierre. Friars by 20 over Brigham Young, their largest lead of the ball game. Hall, right side, bounce pass for Demmin. Kicks the ball out for Catchings. Catchings drives in front of his bench. High arcing 3 is short. Rebound is tapped out. Comes to the left side. Taken by Demmin. Cummings again. Driving on the right is Hall. Almost lost it to Jabri. He's going to step back and fire a 3 short. Loose on the floor, and a foul on the floor called on the Friars again.
Well, the Friars are on demand inside. They got the size in there right now for Brigham Young.
Cardet had just come into the game for the first time in the half, Joe, and he just committed his 4th foul.
Yeah, he's basically playing the power forward position, and Bryce Hopkins gets off the bench now, had a nice rest in there, and he's probably going to come in for Cardet.
That's now the 9th team foul on the Friars. So one more opportunity for 1-and-1. Brigham Young, Joe, has hit just 1 of their last 11 from the floor.
Good defense by the Friars. They're challenging the shots, John. They're staying on their feet. When the shot goes up, there's a hand in the face. I told you that all back during the year here. Challenge three-pointers, the percentages are 27%. An open 3 is 41%.
Boscovich misses the free throw, and Joseph gets the rebound. BYU really struggling shooting on both places, from the floor and from the line here in the half against the Friar defense. Hopkins has it between the circles. Now finds Joseph. He brings the dribble with the left hand to the middle of the floor. Stewart is there to guard him. Pierre sets the screen. He cuts to the left side of that. Shot clock down to 10. Joseph bounces to Pierre. Penetrates right on Baker. Down on the baseline. Lobs it back out for Joseph with 3, with 2. Steps through the double team. Layup and score for Bensley Joseph with a shot clock at 1.
How good was that? Use the whole clock, and then you get a layup at the end of it.
First basket of the half for Benz. He's got 12 in the game, and the lead is 73-51. Top of the key, pushing right, Baker. Stewart for 3. Nope. Rebound, offensive glass again for Dallin Hall. Putback is no good, and Floyd clears it for the Friars.
Well, Friars just doing everything out there now. It's defensively and hitting on the boards.
Pierre with the ball on the left wing. A 7-0 Providence 1 to get some distance between them and a very good Cougar basketball team. Pierre jab steps at Dallin Hall. Now works with 10 on the shot clock toward his bench. Picks up the dribble, top of the key, backs it out in the circle with 6, with 5, cuts to the left with 4, and gets fouled by Hall with 3 on the shot clock on the floor.
Well, again, Brigham Young's playing a zone, but in your area, you're playing man-to-man, and Hall seemed to be guarding Pierre the whole time there, John, but he knows he has help from the weak side of the zone, and Pierre just running the clock down, knows he can beat him off the dribble and takes him.
That is the 3rd foul on Hall, but that's 6 on BYU, so the Friars not yet in the bonus. Cardet comes out, Jabri back in, Asandiko back in.
Friars get a new 20 on the shot clock. You want to take the time off now.
Jabri to Pierre to Asandiko at the top of the key against Keita, and a foul called on Hall.
He reached in on Asandiko. Asandiko gets to go to the line now for 1-1.
That'll be a 1-1. That's the fourth team foul on Hall. Personal foul on Hall. And 7th overall in the half. So Asandiko to the foul line, only a 47% free throw shooter, has 5 points tonight. It's about what he averages, 5.5 points, 4.6 rebounds per game in the first 8 games of his Providence career. And Asandiko, free throw, is good.
I'll tell you, though, he's had a decent ball game, John. I mean, he's struggled all year. He really hasn't played well, but he's had his moments in this one. He had his moments against Oklahoma. You know, if he can just get more consistent in there and patrol the paint, make good decisions, it'll be okay.
Second one is off the front of the rim, no good. He gets 1 of 2. Friars up 23. 8-0 is the Providence run. Baker goes left. Saunders back of the game, comes right off of the screen, penetrates right against Asandiko with a left hand, throws it up, gets it to go.
Moved by Saunders that time. He got into the body of Asandiko, was able to get that shot off.
That's his first basket of the second half, 7 points for the game. That's just 2 of their last 12 from the floor. The Cougars, they try to double on Pierre out of the perimeter. He finds Hopkins going down the lane, and a challenge. The bigs up inside won't get it, and a foul is called.
I mean, I don't know how you can't foul him. I mean, he gets to the basket there, and he just creates the contact and takes it up, and guys just can't – they have no answer for Bryce Hopkins going to the basket.
Foul is called a Mowat Mag. That is his second foul, and it will be a 1-1 again here for the Friars, or are they going to give him 2?
No, I think
Hopkins going to the line. I think he gets 2 here on the shot. He does. And he hits the first one.
Hop might take 80 foul shots in this game and shoot 80%.
Well, now,
he's got a lot of free throws.
Hopkins is 9 for 11 from the free throw line and has 13 points. Second shot, 10 of 12. Joe, I think that's the 80%.
I did. Got to keep it up. I'm going to remind him in the locker room after the game.
76-53. Lead is 23 with 4:34 to go. Hall keeps the dribble low, crosses over on Pierre, hands off. Saunders curls to the right, checks down the right side of the lane, throws up the runner. It goes in and out, and Asandiko tried to rip it out, but Keita took it from him. Keita hands off again for Hall, who scoops it up, and he scores on a layup. Dolan Hall's first basket of the game for their starting point guard.
Yeah, these guys are pretty good. The Friars have just beat them up physically in this ball game.
Breaking pressure across the timeline to Jabri on the left side in front of his bench. Backs the ball outside against Mag. Now gives the ball to Pierre. Pierre. Saunders tries to jab at it. They come up with the quick double team, and Saunders tips the ball out of bounds on the right sideline. Friars will keep it with 8 to shoot. But we got officials timeout with 3:55 remaining. And the Friars leading Brigham Young by 21 at 76-55. From Learfield, this is Providence Friar basketball.
Well, I was a little worried about this game. I'm feeling good about it now.
Both of us, we both were.
Man, I wouldn't want to go into Rhode Island losing 4 in a row.
No. Especially with Rhode Island having won 8 in a row.
Oh. They really haven't beaten anybody down there, but they're playing good basketball. I watched the second half of the Yale game last night.
Yeah.
They look good.
They're tough.
They shoot threes. The guards is good. The big guys are serviceable. They hit the boards. They rebound the hell out of it.
Yep.
It's going to be a tough game. But with Bryce being back, he's a whole different factor. I mean, it's just totally different. They haven't seen this kind of physicality in defense, I don't think, all year.
In a while.
Maybe
No.
Ole Miss. They played Miss and they lost that game, but
Yeah. Make your home project a slam dunk with floor and decor. Now open. Shop unmatched selection and get flooring, tile, and wood at unbeatable prices. 3:55 to go. Friars looking pretty unbeatable themselves right now, 76-55.
Yeah, playing great basketball, and it's the Bryce Hopkins effect, I feel. You know, him on the floor, he's made so many things happen out there. He's only got 2 field goals in the game, but he's 10 for 12 from the foul line. He has 5 rebounds, but he's made great decisions out there. He's a leading assist man for the Friars with those 4 assists and the 14 points. And, you know, here's a stat we probably haven't seen together, you and I, Joe, doing games, John, with 3:55 to go in the game. Friars have 29 rebounds, and they're all defensive rebounds. They do not have one offensive rebound in the ball game. That's just incredible. I've never seen a stat like that in all the games we've been doing. But nope. You know, they're on the side of BYU with 19 offensive rebounds, but they needed them. The Friars would be up by 30 if they didn't have those offensive rebounds. BYU shooting 20 for 64 in the ball game, just 31%. Friars for the ball game, 23 of 38 at 60%. But I think the Friar defense, the whole ball game, John, was playing high intensity and very physical out on the floor, and I think that bothered this Brigham Young team. They don't look like they play that kind of physical game normally.
Friars will inbound the ball. They have 8 to shoot, forecourt to our left. Hopkins will inbound it from the far sideline. Friars will break to the ball as Sandico comes to grab it, gives it right back to Bryce. He's going to take off down the lane, gets cut off. For Corey, who drives in the lane with 3, with 2, elevates with 1, bounces, comes out of the rim. Loose ball. Corey, offensive rebound. The first of the game as Hopkins elevates and scores from the left side.
Hopkins going to go up there and dunk it, but then he hung around up in the air and then just finished it off.
Finally, an offensive rebound with about 3.5 minutes to go in this game. Hall drives to the right baseline for BYU, spins in the post, clears it all the way through for Baker, who drives the lane. Offensive foul called on Hall for an illegal screen, and I think he just fouled out of the game.
Well, he's kind of shocked, but they haven't called one of those on Brigham Young the whole game, and their whole offense is setting screens up on the perimeter.
So he's going to foul out with just 2 points. And into the game in his place is Elijah Crawford, a 6'2 freshman guard out of Augusta, Georgia.
Bensley Joseph checks in for Sandigo, so the Friars again have Bryce Hopkins at the 5 position.
Crawford was a former New Hampshire Player of the Year when he prepped at Brewster Academy. Jabri left side for Floyd, now pushes out front in the center circle for Pierre. And the Friars just going to work the clock as much as they can here, leading at 78-55. Pierre works to the right side. Mag comes out to guard him, giving up some height. Drives inside. Pierre goes right to the hoop, lays it in as he curls it in off the glass.
Yeah, when he gets that north and south, he can be very difficult. Nice left-handed layup that time in traffic.
12 for Jaden Pierre. 80-55. Crawford now has it. Goes left for Baker on the left sideline for Mag. Back out to Crawford, and he'll drive on Joseph, and Joseph will get him with the body. 2:44 to go. Third foul on Benz.
Boy, this is a much-needed win. Good effort by the Friars out here in this one, John. They played solid basketball, made good decisions, didn't turn the ball over, just have 7 turnovers so far in the game with 2:44 to go. But I thought their physicality and intensity in this ball game never relinquished itself. They played hard the whole time.
Crawford hits the first free throw, and the freshman averaging a point per game gets his first one tonight. We mentioned he prepped at Brewster, former high school New Hampshire Player of the Year. As Bryce Hopkins comes out, hugs Tim English on the floor, and a standing O says, "Thank you, Bryce."
Yeah, he had a really good ball game here. I mean, he was the difference in this game.
Second shot by Crawford is good. Gets his first 2, makes it 80-57. 2:42 to play. Pierre has it in the backcourt. Cardette with 4 fouls comes in to replace it. Jump pass to Jabri. He's going to drive the baseline, wraps around, goes right side. Friars bring it back out front for Pierre.
Now you use this time to use some talk. You can use this later on in the year.
Pass comes to Cardette from the right side. Cardette now left, goes back center for Pierre. 7 to shoot. Bensley finds Corey. Corey gets down into the paint, puts it up short, rattles in and out. Rebound tip, no good. Cardette gets another offensive rebound, puts it on the floor, saves it, and he's going to back it back outside. And then the ball hits the official out of bounds, and they're going to give the ball to BYU. Bensley Joseph says, "Hey, that's off of you. It's not off of me." But your boy gives it to him anyway.
The good thing about this game, we don't have to worry about him making stupid calls. Game's over.
Hand off for Saunders. Crawford up high at the point. Jump pass to Cada down low. Banks it up short. Got fouled. They're going to call Pierre for the reach-in foul on Kiba Keita. That's Pierre's third. 2 shots to the line coming for Keita with 1:55 left. Keita missed 2 earlier in the half, which will reward everyone in attendance with a free Chick-fil-A sandwich. Keita will go to the foul line here to shoot 2. The first one is good. He's got 5 points, 1 of 3 from the foul line.
See, now it's time, Fry's going to win this game, obviously, 80-58 with 1:55 to go. But you want to work at the end of the game situations here in case you're in a 4-point game where you want to use some clock and get a good look. So you use this as a teaching tool right now.
We missed the second one. Friars got the rebound. Joseph saves the ball. It got tipped away. It's loose on the floor. Cardette had it, and then Baker takes it from him. Baker to Crawford, who drives inside with the left hand, no good. And then Keita tips it in the basket.
Now, see, that wasn't a good play right there. The Friars, get a turnover there. They take better care of the ball.
9th turnover of the game officially for the Friars, 80-60. And the whistle blew and called something.
Mag picked up the foul.
Picked up the foul
on Raheem.
Okay, so they're going to wipe the floor because there was a slip there. 1:26 remaining,
Guess
80-60.
What? The monitor wants to go look at the monitor. It's 80-60 with 1:26 to go. He's going to look at the monitor.
I can't talk. I'm afraid I'm going to get thrown out.
Why do you need? He's right in front of us, so I can't say it. I got to whisper. But why? It's 80. It's 80 to 60.
Common foul on whom? Mag?
On Mag.
Mag. Okay.
Well, Mag.
Yeah.
I saw Mag. He went for the loose ball on the lob pass, and Raheem went and caught it in the air, and Mag just bumped into him, and he's going to check the monitor for a flagrant foul. What are you doing?
That's the 10th team foul on BYU here in the half now with 1:26 to go. So it'll be 2 shots at the line for Jabri Abdur-Rahim. And now we've got referee Randy McCall also coming over and checking. Okay. So it was on 0. Good. So Jabri will go to the line here to shoot 2. And the first one is good. Jabri Abdur-Rahim has led the Friars in offense tonight. 8.5, 19, now 20 for the game.
Yeah,
Second shot, good, 21.
He can really shoot at this guy.
He has had 4 made threes tonight to give the Friars a much-needed boost off of the bench with offense and shooting. Crawford in the forecourt, crosses on Pierre, drives with a crossover step. Keita got the offensive rebound and tipped it back in. Friars really aren't offering much resistance right now at the rim with 1:10 to go.
Well, there's no center in the ball game either.
Cardette over the mid-floor line, takes the ball with a dribble to the right side in the forecourt, 20 to shoot, 60 seconds to play, 82-62, the Friar lead. This will be the lowest point total BYU has been held to this year. They came into the game averaging 87 points per game on offense. And Cardette, driving on the right side, was fouled by Dawson Baker.
Well, think about this Friar group here. They all can beat you off the dribble going to the basket. And Cardette's one of those guys that likes to get in the paint. Corey Floyd can do it. Pierre's doing it. Joseph's been able to do that. And Raheem's the beneficiary of any penetration. He moves well without the ball. He'll get to an open spot. When they find him, if he's got some space, he'll knock him down at a good clip.
So 2 here for Wesley Cardette, and the first one is good. That's his first point of the second half. 8 for the game, but he spent much of the game on the bench in foul trouble. He picked up his 4th with 6:33 to go. And the second shot for Cardette is off the iron, won't go, and the rebound snatched away there by Crawford. Crawford, right side, hands off, curling to the right is Saunders. Saunders back up top for Baker. Baker drives the lane, puts up a wide layup, and he scores. And Baker now has 14 points in the half, 16 for the game. 83-64, 25 seconds left. Only 2 seconds difference between the clocks. And Benjamin Joseph is going to stand in the mid-floor line and just work this clock down. And the Friars are going to get a huge non-conference win, and the Big East is going to go 2-0 against the Big 12 in the Big 12 Big East battle.
Much needed win here for this Friar team and put their lumps down in the Bahamas. But this is a pretty good Brigham Young team that the Friars really came out and got after them from the start of the ball game right to the end.
2.5 seconds left after the shot clock violation. And it will be an inbound here for Brigham Young to end the game.
Way to get him right, Coach Felton. Way to get him right.
They'll inbound the ball into the backcourt to Crawford. And Crawford's just going to bring it at a trot into the forecourt, get off a late shot, but that's going to do it. 83-64. Friars get the win over the Brigham Young Cougars to snap the 3-game losing streak, improve to 6-3 overall. BYU falls to 6-2.
That's a good win for the Friars. They desperately needed this one. You know, they've been playing hard. This ball game here, they played really, really hard at home and played tough defense. They got after it and showed some physicality in the game. And Bryce Hopkins being back makes everybody better.
Our Santander post-game wrap-up is coming up next from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball. Sure. Sure. Going to give Jabri the player of the game?
Oh, yeah, Jabri.
Yeah, Jabri should be the Audi Warwick outstanding player of the game. But, yeah, come back with a Hopkins here. That's good.
The Friars started the score followed by Jabri with 20 points.
Brad Feldman texted us both that.
What happened, Feldman? What's that?
Guy from the New England Revolution said, "Cheer up, big win," with that picture of Kid.
Yeah.
For the Big East Conference home opener, and it's the Christmas game. Visit Flyers.com for ticket options today. Drive home safely and go Flyers.
Ooh, hello.
So BYU starting the half 0 for 4. At one point, they were 5 for 11. So they went 0 for 4, and they went 5 for 7. Since that, they finished 6 for 21. I'll write it down.
This is the Santander postgame show.
Welcome back, Bryce. Yes, welcome back, Bryce Hopkins. Indeed, a much needed lift on both ends of the floor for night. For the Friars, it just made the game seem easier and more effortless on the floor with him out there. He played a solid game overall, had 16 points in his first game back in 11 months, and the Friars get a huge win, as you said, Joe, at the end of the game, a much-needed win for a lot of different reasons, 83-64 over BYU.
Yeah, they definitely needed this win. Three losses in a row, and they really didn't have a go-to guy or a guy who can settle things down. And Bryce Hopkins being back now, he makes everybody better on the floor, because when you have to prepare now defensively against the Friars, you have to do something with Bryce Hopkins. Brigham Young went to a little zone. They got the ball in the middle. He got to the basket with that little left-hand move there. And then when they go man-to-man, there's nobody on Brigham Young that can guard him. He can be physical. And the best thing about Bryce being back too, John, is Kim likes to go small. And, you're not small with Bryce Hopkins, obviously, because he can play the center position. But he can play the center position. He's physical. He can play against post-up players, and he can post them up and beat them with his quickness. But he makes the team better on the fast break. He makes the team better on the offensive end, because he finds the three-point shooters, because they have to worry about Bryce moving the ball and made good decisions in this one. He's the big reason why they won this game. He came out and everybody just settled down. And as a player, when you have a guy like Bryce Hopkins on the floor, you're more comfortable as well. And everybody played much better because he's on the floor.
No question about it. Friars actually had a 12-point lead at halftime in this one, a game in which they led by as many as 14, but BYU was able to finally fire back at the Friars after some unbelievable sizzling shooting by Providence in the first half, 71% from the floor in the first half, but BYU managed to close within 4 with 2:52 to go after a couple of free throws by Yegor Demon, and then the Friars closed the half on a 12-4 run to take the 12-point lead in at halftime, and some of that was good old-fashioned shooting and 3 free throws by Bryce Hopkins down the stretch.
Well, Bryce set up the three-point shots as well. He had the ball in the middle, and he found the right man and knocked it down, and the right man a lot in this one was Raheem. He was 5 for 9 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, and 7-8 from the foul line. But when Raheem, if you get him an open look, there's a good chance he's going to knock it down. You have to challenge the shooters, but if he's open and has his feet set, you can almost count it as going down. And having Bryce Hopkins back, Raheem is got to love it, because he's going to be on the floor a lot when Bryce is out on the floor, because defense is going to have to find a way to stop Hopkins going to the basket, and that's going to free up Raheem for open looks.
Well, as we said, it was a 12-point lead at the break. They were able to stretch that lead out to 15, and then you had a 10-2 run for BYU that pulled them back within 7 with 13-18 to play. It was 53-46. But then from that point forward, Providence dominated. They immediately scored 8 straight points before BYU got another field goal. Then they scored another 5 before BYU got 2 free throws. And the lead eventually grew out to as many as 25 in the second half after a Jaden Pierre layup made it 80-55 with 3:02 to go. And they coasted in here the rest of the way, win by 19.
Yeah, that's a Providence, we'll call it a blue-collar win, John. The Friars came out with physical from the start and never let up. They were very, very physical against this BYU team. BYU looks like they weren't used to playing against this kind of bump and grind type defense. And the Friars had a couple of shot clock violations on BYU. That BYU is a very good shooting team, coming in shooting 35% from three-point range. Their NBA first-round pick, according to a lot of scouts, Igor Denman, shot 0 for 10. He was 0 for 5 from the floor. He was 6 for 6. And the physicality, I think, bothered him. The Friars got into him, bumped him all over the place. When he was coming around screens, they were bumping into him. And they just were physical the whole ball game. And I think that bothered the rhythm of BYU.
27-9 was that big Friar run, Joe, in the second half, when they went from a 7-point lead to a 25-point lead over 10 minutes.
Yeah, and they were junkyard dogs out there. And Bryce Hopkins was on the floor when all that happened. But it's nice when you shoot the ball the way the Friars shot it in this one, John. You still, you get open threes, you still have to make them. Friars in 2 ball games down the Bahamas, they shot in the 30s. In this ball game for the game, they were 59%. and they were 54 from 3. Now, if you're making shots like that, I mean,
you're not going to lose many games.
Right. I mean, and then he shot 80% from the foul line, a team that's been shooting in the low 60s all year from the foul line. So everything was clicking in this one. The only negatives, they only had 2 offensive rebounds, but they really didn't need them in this ball game because they were making a lot of shots and they didn't have to go for the offensive rebound. But they didn't turn the ball over that badly. They had 10 turnovers. So everything was moving nicely. But I thought they were comfortable in the game, and they came out in the game with intensity from start to finish. They didn't let up at any point in the ball game. They never gave Brigham Young even though they got it to 4, it just felt like the Friars defensively were just going to close the clamp on them and put the game away.
Well, you touched on the defense being a part of what Bryce Hopkins can change out on the floor. BYU to start the second half missed their first 4 shots. Then they made 5 of 7 to heat back up. They finished the game 6 for their last 21 from the floor.
Yeah, and the Friars were battling off those screens. I thought they wore down BYU. They were a little tired at the end. When you start missing shots off the rim, you don't have the legs to stay with it. Friars did a nice job of running their offense in the half-court set when they had the lead, get the shot clock down to 5 or 6. They spread the floor, and then they got the ball to the basket, and then they threw it out for threes. And if they didn't, they would finish at the rim. And that's what Bryce Hopkins does. Bryce finishes at the rim. His first shot coming back was a 3-pointer in front of the BYU bench. He missed it, didn't take another one the rest of the game. His strength, he said, hey, I can get into the paint here. I can score in here. They have to foul me. They had no answer for him inside, and that helped the Friars offensively throughout the ball game.
And defensively, they limited a team that was 3rd nationally in 3-pointers made last year. They were 11th nationally in 3-pointers made this year coming into the game. They hold them to 7 for 25 at 28%.
Yeah, I mean, every shot was almost challenged. I mean, they had maybe a couple of looks from wide open, but other than that, it was a hand in their face, and they had a tough time getting good looks in this game. And the Friars just kept it on them. I just felt, John, the intensity of the game. The Friars came out like junkyard dogs. They get after it the whole ball game, and that was the key to this one. They never let up, and that's what I like about them. And again, I keep talking to you during the ball game, but having Bryce Hopkins on the floor, you have now a go-to guy. You have a settling influence. The Friars really didn't have that when he was around. If the game got tight or you needed a hoop, who did you go to? They didn't have anybody to go to. So now they have that guy, and everybody else becomes more comfortable because let Bryce initiate things, and we'll get open looks. And if not, we'll get him the ball and let him score. So all that mentality now becomes much easier to play the game.
Friars win it 83-64 to move to 6-3. We'll continue with our Santander postgame wrap-up in a moment from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball.
Play when one of your 2025 signees is here too.
Yeah. Yeah. Harrell was here, right?
Yeah,
They had a couple of 26 recruits here tonight too.
Do we know who that Big 12 team is that he said he signed a contract with?
Yeah, Colorado.
That's what I thought.
Are we going to Colorado next year?
Yeah, we're playing Colorado. They signed a contract to play home and home, and I think we're going to play Colorado on November 13th. I think the date is.
Then we're going to come home and go right back to the West Coast.
Yeah,
right.
Probably. I don't know. Maybe. We'll probably have to go. Yeah, that's crazy. We're going to come back home and then go back out there again.
Be great if we could play them on the way.
I know. But when you have a charter, you can come right home. What the hell? What's the difference? Right?
True.
That's a Thursday.
And a commitment to restore your property back to its pre-loss condition or better fast.
Oh, shiny. Why are you so clean from that? You look like a racing sailboat. My bank took me to get cleaned. Huh. So your bank took you to the cleaners? No. I assume the reflection in your forehead. Did your bank take you to the cleaners? No. Simply my checking from Santander is the accountants and that there's no monthly fee. Oh, that's much easier. You can respect your design. All of my transactions to waive the monthly fee include fees, rebates, and adjustments posted with Santander Bank. Fees may apply. See bank for details. Santander Bank.
You want to leave that there?
What's up, man?
Way to go, Benz.
Good game, Benz.
Thank you. Thank
Way
you.
to go, buddy. You should
Let's
be
go.
smiling.
I am.
Great game.
Yes, sir.
Great game.
Thank you. Thank you. Great team effort.
Do any of you have the full game stats or
No, just the box.
just the box? Okay.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah. I just think it's funny hearing Kim. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
Doing the commercials?
Yeah.
He says, "Go Friars." Yeah, he sounds like a New England guy.
Got a little bit of that Mass accent, right?
yeah, a little bit.
Took that shot clock right down to the end. Bensley Joseph with 2 of his 12 for the Friars. He joins us here on the Santander postgame show. First of all, congratulations for the win, because I know last week was tough for everybody to take. I know it was super frustrating because it seemed like it wasn't one thing that beat you. It was something different every night, but you solved a lot of your problems tonight, and now you can kind of look forward to what's ahead.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to first. I want to, give my utmost respect to BYU. That's a good program,
Good team, right?
Good team. They got height. They got a lot of young top prospects that will be good, in a few years, and they're a very connected team. Their record speaks for itself. But tonight, I felt like our togetherness and the way we were bounced, the willingness to bounce back from the Bahamas and how we connected as a group, all throughout the ups and downs out there. We just stuck together. We came even more closer. Guys talk to each other, motivating each other, just to get ourselves, juiced up for this game. And I thought we played a complete togetherness game tonight.
Yeah, I mentioned that too, Benz. I thought the intensity of you guys was the best I've seen all year. I mean, you came out from the start and said, we're going to get after this on the defensive end. You were physical the whole ball game. I mean, what was practice like preparing for these guys? Because, they're a great shooting team. I mean, they shoot threes very well, and you mentioned the prospects, but they've won number 1 in the country from 2-point range, percentage-wise, in the top 3 anyway. But you guys took away everything they wanted to do in this ball game.
Yeah, just the attention to detail to what they do. We knew coming in, they're a really high-scoring offense, average about 80s, high 80s.
87 again.
87, yeah, high-scoring team. We knew that they have excellent shooters from, guys that start and off the bench. And we just wanted to take away, what they really like to do as much as we can. Game plan as well, to just rebound, run. We felt like they couldn't keep up with us in transition in the front court, open court. So, we just tried to take advantage of just driving lies, forcing the kick. And I thought we made a lot of great plays today. And glad to have 2-3 back out there.
Yeah. That's what I was just going to ask you now. I mean, I mentioned about Bryce being back. I mean, you got to be comfortable with him out on the floor, because he makes the game a little bit easier for you guys, because you and Jaden had to take a lot of onus to try to get scores yourself. But with him on the floor, he can set you guys up, and it just makes the offensive flow in the half court much better.
Yeah, to have him back is extremely exciting. I'm so happy for him. Everyone is in the locker room, and to get him back in the process, to see him working all from the summertime to now, it's amazing. He's gonna flourish. I thought he played really well today, physical, just doing what Bryce Hopkins does. And it's definitely a different feeling out there with him on the court. Makes the game a lot more easier, makes the right read, and just so happy for him and excited.
Plus, he plays that you can go small with him, and he can rebound and push the ball to the floor. I think your fast break, you guys will benefit, especially you with your speed. You can get the ball from him off the fast break, and he can lead the fast break. You guys can get down the floor. I mean, that's got to be something new, because you haven't been able to practice with him for 8 games and all preseason. Now you got him in the game. Now your role is going to be a little bit different. You don't have to go back and get the ball anymore. He can bring it down the floor. What do you think about that?
I think that's amazing. I mean, I think that's, something that will be an advantage for us all season. When Bryce is at the 5, he's physical. He don't fear no big man, and he loves the physicality. So with him out there, with the 5 guys, I feel like with him at small ball, it just, we're able to rebound and push the pace up and get easier baskets for our team. And I think that's what kind of separated us today's game, and how we, we're playing hard as hell on defense, and
Yeah.
the transitioning and finding open men and guys hitting shots was flourishing today.
You guys must have felt like this was the team you thought you were going to have at the beginning of the year, at least closer to that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, to finally, have 16 dudes or 15 guys, it's amazing. Now we got the full roster, and we're a very deep team. Anyone's able to come in, provide good minutes, play really hard, play smart together, and we were able to do that tonight. Again, shout out to the guys. I'm glad we got a good victory.
Absolutely. Well,
Right.
you're a New Englander by native, so you understand what's coming next on Saturday with the University of Rhode Island. That is the game in this state all year long, and so I'm sure you're at least aware of the bragging rights and everything else that goes on. This is the game that a lot of people in this state circle on their calendar every year.
Yeah, I mean, URI is playing tremendous basketball right now.
8-0 for the first time in
8-0.
77 years.
Yeah, they're playing amazing. They got some good guards, good bigs. They run the ball in transition. And we just have to, kind of bring the same mentality we had this game. We know it's going to be a war. A lot more emotions going to be running, but we just have to play Providence basketball, play together, play really hard, play unselfish. And, it's going to be a battle, and can't wait to experience that as a New Englander.
There you go. He's
All
got
right,
a big
Bensley.
old Cheshire Cat grin on his face right now because
Yeah.
he knows what's coming. And we're happy for you, too.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the game.
Thank you,
tonight.
guys.
Game,
Appreciate it.
You. You got
Thank
it.
you for having me.
Bensley Joseph joining us here halftime or at the post game, not halftime.
Halftime.
God, we're done. Thank
Come
goodness.
on, man. I don't want to get overtime.
Late
man.
night. No, we don't want to do that.
Let's
And
get
the
out
final
of here.
score was 83-64. Let's take a quick look at the stats all the way through. First of all, for BYU, 6-2 on the season they fall to. They only have one player in double figures, and it was Dawson Baker, who actually came out and scored the first 12 of the first 14 points of the second half, including 3 threes.
Yeah,
So,
Dawson Baker
yeah.
was he can shoot the ball, but it seemed like he had to work so hard to get. Everybody had to work so hard for BYU to get a good look at the basket, but he was able to knock some down at that stretch you talked about.
the rest of the scoring, Kiba Keita had 9 points and 10 rebounds. They held Yegor Demon, who is the young man, the 6'9" freshman from Moscow, who is basically thought to be one of the top 2 or 3 prospects, young prospects for the NBA draft next summer. They held Demon to 0 for 10 from the floor, 0 for 5 from 3, and 6 for 6 from the line in his 22 minutes.
Yeah, he just couldn't get it going. There's a guy there that can, you got to keep him from not getting it going because then you won't be able to stop him. But, as a prospect, he's only 19 years old. He's got good size, and that's what the NBA wants. They want him right now where they can develop. And so by the time he's 23, he'll be a star.
6'9" kid out there. Then you had 3 points for Kenan Catchings. You had 7 from Richie Saunders, and Saunders was held 7 points under his average as well.
Well, Saunders made the all-tournament team out in the tournament out in
San
in
Diego.
San Diego that will be playing the next year. So he's had a good couple of ball games out there, but Friars shut him down as well.
Starting point guard Dallin Hall held to 2. 9 points for Trevin Nell, hit 3 of 4. 8 points for Fuseni Traore, who scored all 8 in the first half like a bull moose in a china shop down low at only 6'6", but Friars held him scoreless in the second half.
Yeah, he's playing against Oswin. Oswin, he got into Oswin's grill, and Oswin had his hands down, and he just took the little floaters inside. But Oswin will get better. He has to be more physical in there.
Mowat Mag got a deuce. Elijah Crawford, the young man from New Hampshire, also 2 points. BYU came into the game averaging 49% from the floor. They were held at 23 of 69 for 33% from the floor tonight. Came into the game shooting 35% from 3. They shot 7 of 25 for 28% tonight, and only 11 of 17 from the free throw line, Joe. And not a great free throw shooting team for a good field goal shooting team. Rebounding, it was a slight edge for BYU, a 39-32 edge on the backboards. They had 21 of their 39 rebounds on the offensive glass, and that's what kept them in earshot most of the game.
It did. They had a lot of opportunities at the basket. They took 69 field goal attempts. The Friars took 42.
27 more shots at the basket.
Yeah, but they came up 20 points short. They just couldn't put the ball in the hole, and we've seen that happen to the Friars a couple of times this year. And it all comes down, you can look at all these stats so you're blue in the face. You got to make shots, and the Friars made shots, and they didn't this one.
Turnovers just 5 for BYU as well in this game. Friars actually had good balanced scoring tonight. 4 players in double figures led by Jabri Abdur-Rahim with a Providence high of 21 points.
Well, that guy can shoot it. I mean, he's a real spot up shooter. You get him an open shot and he can make it, and he's not bashful either. That's what I like about him. He's looking for a shot every time he steps on the floor, and you need a guy like that because once he gets it going, he makes everybody better.
Yeah, sure does. He was 4 of 7 from 3-point range. You had 16 from Bryce Hopkins in his 2024 debut. He played 25 and a half minutes, had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, no turnovers for Bryce Hopkins.
Yeah, he led the team in assists with 4 at the center position and power forward position. So Bryce, he had a very, very good ball game, and he's going to shoot that free throws. We have that bet. I told him he's had to shoot 80% or better. We go to the Capitol Grill. He's off to a good start here, 10 for 12.
Jaden Pierre had 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. On 5 of 8 shooting, 12 points for Bensley Joseph, 5 of 7 from the floor, 2 of 3 from 3 as well. You had 6 points, 6 boards for Kreese DeSandico. No turnovers for Kreese tonight. 8 points for Wesley Cardet, who actually spent the game in foul trouble, most of it. Corey Floyd, 2 points, 5 boards, and 6 points off of the bench for Rich Barron with a couple of second-half three-pointers. Providence, 25 of 42, so they took 27 fewer shots, but made 2 more than did BYU tonight.
Yeah, I mean, again, John, we just mentioned they made shots in this one. They were 12 for 22 from 3. I mean, that's terrific shooting when you can shoot better than 50% from 3 and 80% from the foul line. So great shooting by this team tonight. And, they did a good job of penetrating and throwing the extra pass and getting wide open looks. And when you get wide open looks, your percentage goes up much better.
They were 59.5%. That's a top mark of the year. 12 of 22 from 3, 55%, top mark of the year. 21 of 26 from the foul line, 81%, top mark of the year. 10 turnovers tonight. Points off of turnovers, BYU had 13. Providence had 7. Second chance points is where BYU had an edge because of all the offensive rebounds, 18-2. But the bench was really thorough for the Friars tonight with 39 bench points out of the 83 on the board.
Right, and one stat we're going to see that's going to get better. The Friars had no fast break points in this ball game, as efficient there as the offense was, with scoring 83 points. I think that will get better now with Bryce Hopkins in there because Bryce, once he gets the rebound, and he's going to look to push the ball down the floor the way he did last year before he got hurt, and the Friars will get out on the break with the speed they have, penetration to the basket. I think we'll see a much more fast-breaking team with Bryce around.
12,005, the official attendance in the Amp here tonight to see the Friars beat the BYU Cougars. We'll have a final timeout. Austin Rooke updates us on the scoreboard around the Big East and what's straight ahead as well. And, of course, you know what's straight ahead for the Friars. Joe and I talk about that. Coming up from Learfield, this is Providence Friar basketball.
Friars. Hey, Friars.
Friars.
Syracuse was a 22.5-point dog tonight. They did not cover.
What's that?
Syracuse was 22.5-point dog,
Wow.
670.
Not surprised.
Well, one of the best players didn't play tonight. I don't know who that is, but they were talking about
For
in the locker room.
Syracuse?
Yeah. But that wouldn't have mattered. They were 18-point underdogs.
Carolina was a 4.5-point favorite going into BC tonight. They win by 22.
Yeah. I got a good bet going right now. I bet Oklahoma because I know their game would be close.
Oh, they came back to take the lead.
Huh?
They took the lead.
Yeah, with 3.5 to go. But I have I took Villanova to win outright tonight. They were 4.5-point underdogs. I took them to win outright. And I
Big
took,
East 2-0.
What else I take? I got 4 teams. I'll tell you right now. Here's my teams. I had Indiana Hoosiers over Sam Houston State by 13.5. They won by 25. Then I took money line. I took Oklahoma. I took Georgia over Notre Dame and Villanova as a dog over. Bet $11.52 to win $60.91. I should have bet $100.
Yeah, you should have.
You're throwing it to me, right?
Yes. Unless you want to just take it out of the break.
Nah, just throw it to me.
That was a good crowd tonight, though. 8:30
For an
game on a
8:30
Tuesday
game,
night.
Yeah.
I didn't like the students leaving with 4 minutes to go, but this place was empty.
Well, they got to
at the end.
get to bed. They got classes early in the morning.
Please. They'll all skip their 8 o'clocks.
This is now 33 straight non-conference wins in the regular season. I'm not counting the Boston College game.
Yeah.
Here at home.
Here at home.
So Boston College was a tournament, right?
Was that live?
Yeah, he's got some range, baby. Jabri Abdurrahim is our Audi Warwick outstanding performance of the game, leading the Friars with 21 points, leading all scorers with 21, including 4 of 7 from deep.
Yeah, it's nice to see a shooter like that who can catch and shoot. When he catches the ball, you just feel like it's going to go in. And, I give him a lot of credit, too. He pump faked on a couple and got to the basket. He's got good length. He's 6'8", so he can get out there and knock down some threes and get to the basket.
So the Friars get their first ever win in the short now 3-game series with Brigham Young. 83-64, the final score. Friars now have won 4 out of 6 games they have played in this Big 12 Big East battle, which we think comes to an end after this year, but to be determined, I suppose. We'll find that out. And with the rest of the scoreboard update, Austin Rooke will take us through it.
By the way, I have to mention it was nice to see the old man of steel here visiting us, John Linehan.
We talked about him during the game, exactly. Yeah.
Let's get to the scoreboard update. Villanova mentioned it at halftime, but they win it 68-60 in game number 1 of the Big East Big 12 battle at home at the Pavilion over the Cincinnati Bearcats, who came in ranked 14th in the country in a perfect 6-0, 31 points, 7 boards for Eric Dixon. Did take 23 shots, but the all-world big man for the Wildcats gets Kyle Neptune a much-needed win, and much-needed win for the conference as well to get the Big East started off 1-0, and then followed by PC's win tonight to make it 2-0. Another Big East game tonight, Butler with a 73-58 win over Eastern Illinois. That one at Hinkle Fieldhouse. 20 points apiece for Patrick McCaffrey and the reigning Big East player of the week, Jamil Telford, who added 6 rebounds and a perfect 10 of 10 from the foul line as well. A good score locally. Brown Bears 60-53, winning at Vermont, the favorite, preseason favorite in the America East. 23 points for Keno Lilly Jr., including 4 of 8 shooting from the 3. More games to come in the Big East Big 12 battle tomorrow. A murderer's row of games. Baylor at UConn sans Alex Garabin. That news came out today. He'll miss his 2nd straight game with a concussion. That one tips off at 6:30 on FS1 tomorrow night. Marquette at Iowa State. That is a top 5 matchup at in Ames tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Kansas at Creighton. That one on FS1 at 8:30. DePaul and Texas Tech. Those are the 4 games in the Big East Big 12 battle tomorrow. Those are some doozies. And NJIT will play at Seton Hall tomorrow night as well to round out the Big East slate.
DePaul undefeated still as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I
ranked DePaul.
I watched them a couple of times. They look like they're going to be pretty good. I mean, it's a good coach there, and they have some older guys, so that it's not going to be an easy way to go into Chicago anymore.
No, definitely won't be. All right, well, the Friars then, of course, they've got the annual matchup, the grudge match, the rivalry match with Rhode Island coming up on Saturday. It'll be a noon tip-off at the Ryan Center in Kingston. 12 noon. What do you think about that?
Well, we've played there a couple of times at 12 noon. I remember a snowstorm one year, but that's always a fun game. I mean, the Rhodey fans really look forward to that home game down there when the Friars come into town, and they get a packed house for that game. And it's a fun game to be at. And Rhodey's playing great basketball there. I watched them play last night in the second half of the Yale game. Yale's pretty good, and they kept their composure. They shot the threes very well. They rebound very well, and the kid from Henrican, who originally went to Rhodey.
Sebastian Thomas.
Yeah, he had to transfer out. He had a bad freshman year, but he went to Fairfield and got better and was player of the year in that league, I think. And now he's back and he's playing good basketball. He's making shots and makes his teammates better. So they're playing good basketball. They got good size. So that should be a good game. That's going to be a very tough game for the Friars to win down there, but they're coming off a nice win here to give them some momentum.
And also maybe a little confidence. And I think that's going to be key to winning on the road anytime you have to go out and play someone elsewhere.
Oh, yeah. And, when you've seen the Friars play the 8 games before this one, this is their 9th game of the year, you scout them and you play them a different way. Now you have to look at different things now when you're playing the Friars with Hopkins in the ball game because he changes the dynamic of the way the team plays. So It should be an interesting game down there. It's always fun.
Well, the game, again, will tip off at noon. We'll have the broadcast beginning at 11:40 a.m. on News Talk, 99.7 a.m. and AM 630 WPRO on Saturday morning. So it will be an 11:40 pregame, 12 o'clock tip-off. The Friars and the Rotary Rams yet again. Before we get to that point, we'll have the next edition of the Kim English Show to preview the URI game coming up on Thursday night at 6 o'clock right here on WPRO. So you make sure you want to tune in for that one. Our thanks to studio producer Sam Chozik, our engineer Matt Morrell, our halftime and post-game host Austin Rooke, and for my partner Joe Hassett, I'm John Rooke. Again, our final score, Providence 83, Brigham Young 64. Friars move to 6-3, and they've got URI on Saturday. We'll see you at 11:40 right here on WPRO for that one. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks, Sam.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
Will we see you on Saturday? Are you in?
Yes, I'll be here at noon. I'll be here at 11.
Yeah. So we'll start the pregame at 11:39, I'm guessing. So I'll try to send you the coaches interviewed right at 11 or soon after.
Sounds good. Glad it won't be at 11 at night.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Thanks, bud.
Of course. Take care.
Yep.
Our mission is to see you smile. Experience something different. Lickers.